March 16th and 18th.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the first matchup that we're going to see today. It's G2 Esports taking on Tempo Storm. And we talked a little bit earlier, G2 Esports, with a win here, secure their spot. Tempo Storm needs to win and rely on Luminosity losing later, so a little bit more pressure on their shoulders. They have more things to worry about today, but it starts with winning, and that's what they need to do here.
Yeah, being able to grab the W here is really important, but Tempo Storm needs a little bit more than just beating G2. They need Luminosity to also lose, which is a little bit of a hard thing to predict because Cloud9 doesn't necessarily have much to gain. They can just play the spoiler. They also could just be here to play fun decks and just kind of experiment on patch 7.1. G2, in the meantime, all they have to do is just beat Tempo Storm and they're in. I guess if I'm Complexity, I'm a little bit nervous because I feel like Luminosity versus Cloud9 might be a wash for Luminosity. It just feels like they have all of the balls in their court.
Yeah.
But the G2 and Tempo Storm, that's where really it feels like if I'm Complexity, I'm the one focused on that match.
Yeah, super nervous as well. Hoping they lose so Complexity can make it through. But let's quickly take a look at the match format before we get into the pick and ban phase. Both teams have submitted 9 unique decks, 1 for each class. Of course, went into the pick and ban phase where 2 decks will be banned away from each side, and then they'll pick 6 to play in the best of 11. And as is the Trinity Series way, it'll be last hero standing. So let's go into the pick and ban phase. It's G2, Tice, Life Coach, and RDU taking on Tempo Storm. Just saying. Gara and VLPS. Rogue banned away from Tempo Storm, and Warrior banned away from G2. Pretty standard so far. Let's go and take a look at the sig. What?
A Paladin
banned away.
So G2 banned Paladin and Rogue. That's really surprising to me. I thought Rogue and Warrior were almost the given how Pirate Warrior seems to be dominating the ladder meta currently. And, to the much angst of many players around the world. And then Rogue as a secondary ban makes a lot of sense because if you ban the pretty much primary aggressive deck, it feels like Miracle Rogue can really punish the slower decks. But G2 is banning Paladin, and Paladin's had some middling results. What do you make of this, TJ?
Well, one thing to note is that Tempo Storm in the past couple weeks has actually excluded Paladin. So banning Paladin away from Tempo Storm could just be G2's plan of trying to disrupt the game plan from Tempo Storm. Because if Tempo Storm had a plan with all 6 of their decks, assuming normal bans, then maybe banning Paladin and forcing Tempo Storm to exclude a deck that they weren't planning on excluding might throw a wrench in their plans and make it so that G2 has a deck that Tempo Storm doesn't have a counter prepared for. So that's interesting. But that means they leave Warrior and Shaman up, which, of course, even with the changes and the nerfs to Small Time Buccaneer and Spirit Claws, Warrior and Shaman, I still feel are in a great spot in the meta. But I guess we'll see as this match plays out. And you can see there, VLPS will be playing the Warrior, and Gar will be playing that Shaman. Those are the 2 key decks to be watching for Tempo Storm. But since the Paladin was banned away, it means that they were forced to, not forced, but they decided to exclude their Hunter deck, which I don't want to say has been pivotal in their success, but has definitely picked up
a role.
It's played a role. Anti-control deck. They've have more wins, I believe, than any other class or any other team with Hunter. So maybe that'll shake things up.
It's definitely had more of a support role for the team. It hasn't been a heavy lifter by any means, but maybe a good way to snipe Reno, Warlock, or a good way to punish decks that are too slow, such as the Anything Can Happen Paladin. Not necessarily the go-to for a lot of these teams, but Tempo Storm has Gara been really pushing Hunter for a while, and even though they got some early week success, or I guess middle of the league success, didn't really have much of an impact the past couple of weeks. So it doesn't surprise me that they choose to do that, and I think the other options are just too good. It's like, well, now we don't have to play Hunter. They banned Paladin for us. We can play Warrior. However, I wonder if G2 has been mapping this out and saying, we want them to feel pretty comfortable. We want them to bring a Pirate Warrior, and we'll feel really good if they do, because then we have a strategy prepared. And there's one thing that I know is that guys like Life Coach and RDU, they really think a lot of these webs out through, and they're willing to sit down, take 100 hours in a week to really map out everything possible and practice everything diligently. So I'm looking forward to see what they've got here. Yeah.
It's crazy to think that they changed up their strategy so late. I guess the changes just came this week, but everything's on the line for them in this situation. if they need a win to qualify for the live finals. We thought they were shoo-in. They started the season 3-0. They started the series with a 6-0 sweep over Alliance. Everybody thought that G2 was pretty much automatic. Even when they first saw the lineup of 8 teams, they're like, well, it's going to be 7 teams fighting out for 3 spots at the live finals because G2 is definitely going to make it. If they don't make it and their plan today doesn't flesh out in the way that they had hoped or planned for, that's going to be a pretty big blow, not only to the players, but also to a lot of their fans. And I'd be surprised as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. It wouldn't really be the finals without G2 representing, because it feels like they are the team to beat. However, in a game like Hearthstone, and especially since it's team-based, you can't really bet on anything guaranteed here. Taking a look at the total Paladin wins, complexity, of course, it felt like they were a team that really drove a lot of the good Murloc plays. G2 has most of their wins from that first week of games. Temple Storm's got nothing, so it's not like they needed it.
Ban away a deck that the opposing team doesn't have a single win with. Crazy to think that that's the strategy that G2 is going with, but pretty cool. It's something different. And one thing that I have applauded teams for doing on the Trinity Series and that I'd like to see is innovation and using new strategies. The first week that we saw Hunter and it had success, that was super cool. The first week that we saw teams experimenting with Temple Mage, Luminosity, they came in and just had an explosive week with Temple Mage. That was super cool.
Yeah, and I think if G2 is banning Paladin, I'm trying to think here. So what does Paladin really punish here? Control Paladin anything can happen Paladin tends to really punish decks that are really slow and really control-oriented, because the control decks allow the combo decks to build up their hand resources or hand economy. And, they can't create enough board tension, TJ. As a result, there's a lot of combos that can happen, and the anything has time to gather the resources.
Yeah.
Does that mean that G2 is bringing a heavy control lineup? Maybe control shaman, maybe I don't know. What else? Maybe a combo druid of some sort. Instead of playing a Jade druid. I don't know. It's really weird.
It's very weird. It could mean they're getting greedier with some of the decks that they already play control, like their mage or their warlock. One thing's for certain
Spicy.
is
They already start with their own anything can happen up against druid.
I'm pretty sure G2 Esports has opened Paladin like every week, at least 6 out of the 7. But one thing is, again, G2 loves to be greedy with their deck choices. So banning out some of the decks that punish greed can work out for them. But they do have to keep in mind that they have to deal with Warrior and Shaman. So the ultimate greed punishers. But Tempo Storm starting off with the Druid. Probably Jade.
Jade is definitely most likely candidate here because of Ragnaros. If you just had Emperor and the Gadget Stand Auctioneer, you can make a case that it could be a Malygos combo. But, we've seen some Jade Druids just go heavy greed in this format because you can ban out the most aggressive decks. With Aya Blackpaw and Jade Blossom in the hand, it's almost certainly the case. Now, I know that a lot of people consider Jade Druid to be a control deck. Maybe a slower mid-range variant is also a better way to slot it. It's just like a slow deck in general. However, don't be like too complacent if you're the anything can happen Paladin. You can still get punished heavily by Jade Druids because you just can't clear a lot of the big threats. And if there's like a 6/6 and a 7/7 on the board, is that a board that you want to use a quality Consecrate or a Pyromancer quality? It's not exactly the most the ideal board. So
it's about finding a balance between when to go in with your removals. Finja is sort of the key that unlocks the locked door to Murloc Paradise.
Eloquently put, TJ.
Thank you so much.
Let's go ahead and listen to Life Coach talk about Hearthstone for the first time since a few days ago.
So what about Blue Jill or Hero Power? Can we just elaborate that very quickly?
Why keep the Blue Jill for after the Finja to be more powerful?
I like it with the Finja. Like if we coin Finja at 5 and we get like War Leaders out or we need additional damage, the Blue Jill might be nice.
You mean, then we can basically Peacekeeper and Blue Jill, right? And the Blue Jill will also be powered then.
Yeah, or maybe we need to extra damage to kill a minion, and otherwise Finja doesn't get the battle cry.
So you agree with the Hero Power, right?
Yeah, Hero Power. Was a more difficult hero power than their hero power.
No, no. And the better one. And the better one. They might also not have a drop if they cannot innovate now.
They might have blossom, yeah.
But it was still better not to play the Acolyte. Yeah, it was still good. Because otherwise we would have just traded, we would have gotten one more card, but we would have also burned one mana. And the coin. And the early Finja. I think the early Finja is so important, like, so important.
The earlier, yeah, the better.
It's super important. It's like, yeah, it's, I think this one turn just...
Why are they thinking?
Just off future turns. Like, they're not thinking of this turn, just of future turns.
Yeah, or innovate Wild Cross.
Yeah, innovate hero power, like, yeah.
No, innovate Wild Cross, I might, but I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Then they drew it. I mean, they have to then.
Maybe.
So we always Acolyte here, right?
Yeah. And
I like Acolyte and attack phase.
Don't you like to trade? Because actually no.
No,
Even if they swipe, we are okay with it, right?
No, they need to trade.
If they swipe or Acolyte at their 5 turn, like it's
yeah,
great.
then we have Finja into the 1-up. So Acolyte in the hit phase, right?
Yeah, hit phase.
Okay.
Show the dominance.
It's one of the cards they kept, right? They have one more card.
No, they should the Acolyte.
Yeah, they still have the 2 keeps.
Okay, then it's I really put them on True Server.
So we can nourish into Aya, innovate Wrath next turn.
We should innovate about this turn, right?
Okay, wait.
Or we can do it this turn, yeah.
One sec. What if they have Finja? Is Azure then better or worse? If they want to coin out the Finja next turn. They can't kill the Finja. They can't kill the Azure Drake with the Finja.
Yeah, then the Drake's definitely better.
Do you guys agree with Drake then?
Yeah, Drake's good.
They kept 2 cards, right? They might have both. What is better if they have True Server and Finja? I mean, we can't really do much about Finja, right? I mean, we drew now the Elephant, which is pretty good. So we have the Jade follow-ups for the Aya. Question is, how much do we need the Azure Drakes per power swipe?
All right, so looks like things are off to a little bit of a slow start because this first game is always very pivotal to set the tone for the series. It's not, of course, anything series-defining. The Jade Druid in general has always been a deck that's had like middling success, not exactly the crucial. And of course, Paladin's always been on the low end of impact. However, they're really making sure to navigate around Finja turns very carefully because it is available to G2's hand. And Tempo Storm hesitated because they were about to play that Nourish instantly, but then they said Azure Drake instead. So what do you think, DJ?
Well, you see Tempo Storm. One thing that they always do is talk about mulligan keeps. It's something that Just Saying in particular is really good at keeping track of. And you know, if Paladin keeps 2 cards, it's against Druid. There's really not that many cards that you keep against Druid. Finja is an auto keep, and a lot of times True Silver is also an auto keep. Acolyte of Pain can be a keep in this matchup, especially since they're small Jades. And Just Saying realized that Acolyte of Pain was drawn. So you can pretty much put them on having either Finja or True Silver. It's just, what do you think is the best to play around? And the more you delay Finja, the better it is for you. So I feel like if you play Azure Drake into Aya, it works out better for you in the long run because they spend a whole turn developing True Silver, and then you get to get on the board faster than they get Finja. So I definitely like the line of play that they went for based off of the mulligan keeps from G2 Esports.
Ooh, interesting. G2 has a bunch of plays available to them now, with Emperor Thorsan being drawn. However, every turn that they pass up Finja means another turn where they're losing the ability to seize a significant tempo with Finja. So I do think that getting it onto the board is pretty important. Now Tempo Storm comes up on a really crucial turn. Wow, imagine if they just start pushing damage. Just go ahead and tune into what Tempo's thinking coming up on this pivotal moment of the game.
Swipe next turn.
Yeah, this gives us the strongest possible board. The worst would be some equality shenanigans, I suppose. We are pressuring them hard here. How many forbidden? How many heal cards did they play? Did they play Iron Knight?
Yeah.
Iron Knights, probably Rag. They also played the 3-drop, right? That guy. It's kind of like semi-heal. One forbidden healing then the most. Or at most.
And go face with the Morlocks. And they'll have like a 1-1 Aya, and we have Aldor. We still have the Finja, and we get the 2 Morlocks.
I don't see directly. How do you feel of? You think it's better than now? Attack. Get everything, and then Eldor.
I like the Consecration Aldor.
Consecration, then what? You consecration, you kill it with a true silver, you attack with ninja, and then you either the Aya.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah.
Do it fast, and do the right order.
Yeah, of course. I like it because it leaves them with a very, very bad board.
Yeah, I like it too more. I didn't saw it directly.
Okay, and now I go face with a Bluegill.
Yeah.
This looks okay.
That's super good, yeah.
Equality. And we have another Bluegill in our hand.
It's better than playing the Wicker Flame here. It's better than a Wicker.
That's really good. I like it very much.
I'm thinking if Wicker Flame was an option here, maybe over the Eldor, but nah.
Instead of Eldor, you mean?
Nah. It's like the Aya will still do something here trading, I guess.
And we can hero power trade the Aya into the.
And Wycroft?
Actually, no. We have to. Yeah, it's just awkward because of the Murloc War Leader.
I mean, the free. Do we care about Aldo surviving? Can set up full mana in Nourish next turn. Have a 4/4 on the board against this 3/2.
What's the benefit of swipe and wild growth? We nourish the next turn. Do we use the wild growth this turn? No.
I think so, yeah.
So what are we doing? We
We have
swipe?
more plays.
Swipe the Murloc War Leader.
Like, we wanna proc the Aya, that's the thing.
I kind of like double swipe.
But we wanna proc the Aya, so it's kind of like a waste.
Yeah.
Are we using the wild growth, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine.
It makes our hand much more flexible.
Yeah, we can get a 5-drop.
Like, we can
Double
nourish
Drake, or we
swipe.
still have another Drake.
And do stuff. We can just do more stuff, yeah. We still have like another wild growth for cycling.
Interesting.
Yeah, Wild Growth at 8 mana, it only gets value for 1 turn, essentially. It gives him 1 power turn, and it forgoes a draw later on, potentially multiple draws with Gadsden Auctioneer. So a little bit interesting that they feel like they want 10 mana next turn specifically, as opposed to, say, double swiping there, or even doing the play that they made and holding on to Wild Growth and floating 2 mana if they were going to just wanted to hold on to one of the swipes. So just an interesting line of play from Temple Storm.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. I am slightly concerned about the lack of draws that they have beyond the Nourish, but of course Nourish could always just pick up. Nourish makes you feel a lot more comfortable with stuff.
Now I'm sure they wish they had that Wild Growth.
Maybe yes and no. I mean, they would have 4 mana this turn, so they wouldn't. I guess
they'd be able to Jade Blossom and the next turn go off with Gadgetzan, with Jade Idol, and Wild Growth.
Yeah, you're right there. I was thinking that if they wanted to utilize 5 mana plays like before, because it felt like they had several in their deck that they were aiming for. So if they're playing the Druid Claw version, which I don't think they are since they're playing Ragnaros, then you can justify doing that, because then playing Druid the Claw plus Nourish is definitely a viable line. This is a position that they're going to be uncomfortable in. If their opponent has Tyrion or Ragnaros Lightlord, they're going to be in a little bit of a defensive position, and that's not what they want to. That's not where they want to be. So let's go ahead and listen into the team once again as they come up on that turn 8.
Play it for 2 mana and Emperor. Trade. Video for 2 mana Emperor. Or is that like we just give up the board?
I kind of like it.
Oh, really?
Double trade and Solemn Vigil.
Wait. Why don't we just go face and Emperor and Hero Power? What's the problem behind that?
We get this card discounted.
No. I actually like that more. I like that more because if they then play VAR, we have the equality with Blue Jill. We will get a good vigil this game.
Okay, okay, I can see that.
It might be as a Drake swipe, like a spell damage second swipe can be. But they played one Drake, they played one swipe, so them having the
What we could do is also we could play Sorrison, Blue Jill, and trade 3 to end Blue Jill if you wanted more.
Nah.
I think that's better against swipe. I don't see why we need the Blue Jill.
I do it?
Actually, yeah, I would do that, yeah. No, do the heal part. Okay,
I already played the blue gill.
Okay.
You like this more?
I think
I don't know, it's fine.
But why do you do it over the true silver then?
We have to gadget. Ult first.
They don't have the equality since they got the true so well. Can just go anything next turn.
Auctioneer, Solemn Vigil, and Ivory Knight.
No,
That's
I'm
good
not
enough.
sure about it. Don't like it.
But
How
those are
about
just
how about just killing the auctioneer Eldor Rack?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Like
say.
I don't want to video for 3. I think.
I like this very much, yeah. They also just showed the dude. What is the dude? They just showed the Mulch. Yeah, okay. Let's go.
Seems good. You get a clean heal.
Yeah, I mean, our life is probably not the issue. Yeah, that's pretty good, our life.
The equality. That's like if we find any way for equality to connect. Like they cannot even play with their lives anymore too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we need to be careful at them overloading the board with Jade.
They will also play around anything now. Like they want to try to play around 12 damage from anything. I don't know if they even can, but they will try.
We only have.
Well, I don't even know if Temple Storm has the means to play around anything at the moment. But we'll see. They have the potential to Brand plus Jade Behemoth plus Jade Idol. It seems like a little bit of an overextension on the board, but at this point, I don't know if they can afford to not play all their stuff, because if they... quality is just going to lose them the game anyway. If a quality consecration comes out, they just lose. So
yeah, precisely. I think this is the only push that Temple Storm has, and they can't play around anything, and there is no anything. And let's see how much damage does G2 have right now. At their disposal, they can just push 11 directly to the face. Unless I'm missing something here. Perhaps they could Solemn Vigil draw after the equality and then pick up... did they use both True Silvers? I think they did.
They used both True Silvers, but they still have 2 consecrations left. If they just Solemn Vigil now...
1 consecration. They used 1 earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess that... Yeah.
So
and
Wild Range.
Wild Pyromancer is...
Could Ivory Knight do that?
No.
I think they could pick up Blessing of Might if they equality'd Ivory Knight and then did something.
Ooh, second equality. No way to activate it.
Yeah, that's a little awkward.
Yeah, especially since now they can't really clear. So if they equality and try and push, then they're staring at so much damage. 7, 7, 8, 8, and 9, 9 with no way to deal with those.
Yeah.
Well, they can deal with them, but it would involve them trading their minions.
Man, they fished really hard for Consecration or a Pyromancer. They don't have it, so they're going to have to use this. The equality sequencing is really nice, so that way they guarantee heal to their own face. But you can't deny that G2's in an awkward spot. And Temple Storm also knows that there's no anything, and Brand stayed alive. So if Nourish can land onto a Jade Spirit, that board is going to get massive.
Yeah. Or they could draw 2 cards with Azure Drake. Let's go and listen in to Temple Storm, see what they're thinking about here.
I guess we double draw with it.
Yeah, we double draw with it. It's a Nourish anyway.
Yeah, true. Do we need a swipe? Can we clear the first wave of Murlocs? Probably not, right? What we could do is also Wrath and trade the 1-1 into the rack. We don't have to swipe necessarily.
We want to cycle the Wrath, though.
But then the thing is that we could Nourish here then. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
But then you would Nourish first.
We could just sacrifice the Brand at this point.
Oh, you like something? Okay.
I mean, we're still safe at 14, so I think we just generate the Nourish, right?
For draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to find taunts. Do we have taunts?
No, we have none left.
No war? Oh, okay. The thing is, we expect them to... We kind of have to set up... It's so difficult to win from this position, right? If they have anything. So I really don't know.
We just have to hope both anythings are like bottom 10.
Left and right. The Barnes now. We didn't have a Doomsayer yet.
I'll die for the knight first.
He can do Tyrion.
Yeah. So what do you
Tyrion,
want to do?
Acolyte, Pyromancer, and 2 Doomsayers.
Ivory Knight first. So what do you want to do? No, what? No. Be Barnes
Yeah.
first.
But why? Why?
Because of Pyro, right? Or not?
Do we ever want equality?
No, probably not. Yeah, okay, then Ivory Knight first is okay. Yeah.
Hammer of Wrath. And kill
On
the
the
7-1.
On the 7-1.
Hammer
Yeah,
of
we-
Brass 7-1. Yeah, I like it.
I like it too. We really want now just something for the equality.
Okay, I mean, that's good.
I hope it's good enough.
Well, what? It's good enough. Yeah. Why don't you think it's good enough?
4 Murlocs die. 5 Murlocs die.
I'm a little scared how much they're gonna play now.
For wild growth.
Okay.
Can we
They
really
used
play
an
around second equality though? I mean, we're all
Okay,
in, I think.
They were missing the equality enabler. Do you think they... Yeah, I mean...
We have to win next turn with Rag. We have to hope
We
they don't
have
have the board clear here.
Do we go for
Go
idol?
all in with both
Wait, wait.
Jade, I think.
Do we go for idol?
I mean, we can idle no matter what. It's
Yeah, we don't have the hero power.
Yeah, the hero part doesn't do anything.
That's even better.
Maybe.
So Mark of the Lotus...
Keep the Drake
only?
alive. Get the Mark of Lotus, we keep the Drake alive.
Oh yeah, definitely Mark of the Lotus. It's like +5, +5.
Pretty much comes down to does he have the board clear? Because now anything doesn't even have enough power to clear, enough power to keep him alive. I would say. Just double Jade Spirit, Mark of Lotus,
All
straight
in,
three.
yeah.
Oh my god, guys.
I need Pyromancer.
Can we
or
please
Concentrate.
get something for this equality? Oh my god. Okay, so we have Barnes, but we still have 2 Doomsayers. We have Tyrion in the deck. Oh, come on. Do we Vigil here?
If we Vigil, we have to pick up Consecration or Pyromancer.
It's 3 out of 8, man.
And then we have, if we don't pick it, we have to like Barnes and try to get Pyromancer. I think that's the only way we can win.
That's fair, right? We do
Yeah.
that.
We do that.
Okay.
We have to. Yeah.
Come on.
I didn't get it.
Nine, that's... Hey, okay, yeah, then Barnes.
Barnes can get
we have-
Tyrion or Pyromancer or Doomsayer.
Yeah, but we need the Pyro here, the 50-50 or whatever it is.
I have to go for it, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Natürlich. Hey.
Oh.
Das ist so blöde, dieses dumm. Okay. Ja, okay, cool. Ja. Ja, gut, sure. Awesome.
Man, I know exactly what they roughly, especially like mulligan stuff. Oh, it's crazy.
I am done calling this matchup a counter.
No, they drew the nuts, dude. They drew the 26.7%.
Yeah, but
Ninja.
Finch is just it's too scary now. It's like,
But
this
it beats
matchup.
everything. But it's only 26%. It's the best you can get in Hearthstone right now, percentage-wise. But like, if they have it, they have it. Who cares? And we still beat it, which is insane.
Good job, good job. Do this, boys, one step at a time.
Dude, it's so funny listening to both perspectives. You
Yeah.
know, G2, of course, is like, man, we're so unlucky. And Templestorm's like, man, they got so lucky.
They had it.
Because
They had
they were
everything.
talking about Finja in the very
Yeah.
beginning, which is probably the most crucial aspect of the deck, being able to get Finja. So the logic is that G2 felt like, at that point at the very end stages, they got really unfortunate by not having Pyromancer, which is true. They have 8 cards remaining, and they drew 3 deep, and they only need was 1 Pyromancer or 1 in Consecration remaining, and they couldn't get it. So that's pretty unfortunate for them. But Templestorm's thinking, you wouldn't even be in that position if you didn't get the 22.6% to have Finja on turn 5. So it's really funny that both these teams feel like, oh man, I can't believe we're so stressed out.
I am done calling this match a counter.
Yeah, that's so funny from the
You could
OPS.
tell that Templestorm had a plan. They know that G2 is going to
Yeah.
open Paladin, so they opened Druid specifically to counter it. and they get the win. And now G2, a team that has not relied, but been on the back of lots of Paladin wins. They've been crucial to their victories at the start of series. Are going to have to work at a disadvantage for the start of this match.
Yeah, if you're G2, I mean, as much as you're sad about losing that game, you can't be too sad because on paper, J Druid should be the one taking the win more often than not. So you lost an unfavorable matchup, not really that big of a deal. You lost with Paladin, not really that big of a deal. It is the weakest, I think, of the remaining decks that you have. I mean, you have Shaman, you have Warlock, you have Priest, you have your own Druid. I mean, come on, Paladin's definitely the weakest of the decks out of all of them. But, of course, losing the first game in a last year standing format does put you at an inherent disadvantage because you're just always going to be behind on the counter picks. It's very interesting too that Tempo Storm seems to be the only team that's really willing to start on Druid. A lot of other teams are starting on Paladin, primarily to throw out there, because it does feel like it's the least the least valuable of all the decks that you have. But now that Druid starts things off here, and then you're going to kind of force your opponent to counterpick. What do you really think about having Druid lead off from Tempo Storm?
Well, and they're specifically using it to get ahead. And we'll jump to the next match. As soon as G2 picks the deck, they're still debating on what deck they want to pick for the next match. But they're picking it specifically to get ahead. And there's a lot of merit in, like you mentioned, getting ahead in last year's standing series. So if they feel like they're going to get a very high percentage win in the first game, that sets them up for success in the rest of the match. So taking a look at the top class wins, G2 has had a lot of success with Paladin and Druid. Paladin a little bit weighted towards their week 1 victory, which was a 6-0, but Druid has sort of crept up as one of their top classes in the past couple weeks. Tempo Storm has a pretty even win distribution as far as classes go. Hunter is in their top 3, but all of their decks seem to win a decent amount. They're able to win on every deck pretty consistently. And, they've had a lot of close series, which is why they're so close in the standings. So it just sort of makes sense that they have a pretty even win distribution. But Druid, with that win, takes the top class for Tempo Storm for the time being.
Yeah, certainly. So taking a look at the stats, it just feels like a much more balanced approach from Tempo Storm. Or is the fact that they just can't get rolling with anything. It does tend to create two different types of strategy, or I think this kind of stat tells two different stories, essentially. The first story is that some teams, they build their lineup as a lineup that is very independently capable. I believe Reyna was the one who was talking to me back a couple of years ago about the primary way to play last year standing is that you have to build a lineup with every deck potential to sweep, because that means that you're never really out competitively. If you build a lineup that's very counter heavy, which is the second strategy, which is I open up deck A and I win. You open up deck B to kill my strategy. Then I go with B to kill your B and C, D, E, F, G, etc. And I'm gonna have the final say because I've built this web of counters, this tree of decisions. He says if you do that, then if one deck loses a favorable matchup, which can happen because at best you're at 70% favorite, you're gonna be in a really bad spot. So like it's a house of cards, like one crumbles and everything else falls. So, it seems like G2 has a little bit more of that aspect. They're just going to have one deck that really punches through. And it looks like they're favoring Temple Mage in this position, and that is a deck that has a lot of sweep potential, as we've seen twice over the Trinity Series, TJ.
Yeah, I like the points that you made, and that sort of counter strategy is also quite dependent on winning the first game. Because if you just have a counter strategy, then you're just going to go 1 for 1, and in that case, the team that wins the first game is going to have an advantage. So we'll see, though. Temple Mage, I believe this is the first time that we're seeing G2 on Temple Mage, but this week has been a first-time Temple Mage for a lot of teams. I'm pretty sure almost every team has played Temple Mage with the exception of Team Liquid, who played Freeze Mage yesterday in their match. So no Reno Mages this week, which is so far, which is really cool to see, because Reno Mage was, almost an automatic, a guaranteed mage pick coming into the weeks until Luminosity.
Well, it's too early to say. We'll figure out if Tempo Storm brings a Reno Mage or a Freeze Mage or a Tempo Mage themselves. In the meantime, let's go ahead and tune in to hear how Tempo Storm is planning for the first few turns, and then we'll hop over to G2.
Hopefully bad hand. Different lines here.
I don't hate the Coin Jade Blossom. No, Innervate, Jade Blossom, it's a coin, Jade Spirit, Jade Spirit.
But then we never play the idol.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
the
just
nerf
idle
of that
here.
is
Idle's
idol's
fine.
flexible.
Yeah, idle's fine here.
But you have to ramp, like, okay, you can still go over it. If you don't ramp now, what turn you want to play the Jade Blossom next turn?
Yeah, we
And
just
save the
play it
Innovate?
next turn.
Yeah.
So the only thing
Spirit
is...
comes out later.
Yeah,
So-
save the Innervate.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the idea of saving Innervate too. I think it's just more important this way.
Yeah, we just ping that, but don't do it instantly. Think about it a bit. Because maybe you like let them think that we have to drop.
Yeah. I don't know how much they play with reading, but sure.
This is kind of like the nut draw what we have. This is Reno Mage.
Yeah, this is
With the
actually
full-
pretty gross.
We have the full Jade train.
Okay. Is it buff or is it missiles?
Is it missiles? I don't know why missiles is better than blast against Druid.
Blast is like a better card than missiles, but missiles we require to like hit one.
Yeah, but come on, if we are not gonna hit one here,
Yeah, then we just missiles. I mean, sure, right?
yeah, we have to be missiles, I think. But what do you think, Radu?
Yeah, I would missiles, and if we don't hit anything, we just probably blast it, or just blast it if we don't hit anything.
Yeah,
But I think blast is way better than missiles because we can like spell power blast like Drake, and that's like a power swing.
yeah, missiles here.
Time runs out on me.
I'll go with the missiles, Adrian. Adrian? Adrian?
Disconnected, I think.
Adrian?
You disconnect.
Adrian, hello.
I think life coach is disappointed that the health goes down instead of the numbers going up.
Really,
Uh-oh,
really
is
tilting
not
him.
good.
But it looks like we have a
Wow.
disconnect from G2. Bummer for Temple Storm because they had the nuts.
They had the best hand, essentially. And what it's a crazy combination of two things. One, they have the ideal hand, and two, Mage had a terrible hand. They had nothing really going on. They're off coin. They don't have any early drops. They have all removal, and it's like a really dominant position for Tempo Storm. It's actually very hard to come back if you're a Tempo Mage in that position.
Yeah, once you lose the board, especially once the board starts to get big from Jades, not I was going to say Jade Spirits, but it doesn't matter, Jade anything. It can get tough to stifle the board and build up your own pressure. But we'll see. We'll try and get Life Coach back. The ruling for Trinity Series is if you have multiple disconnects, then you're forced to let your teammates play your decks for you. So that would mean RDU and Tice would basically take Life Coach's decks and play them. Life Coach would still be permitted to stay in the call and encouraged to communicate and things like that. But we'll see if we can get him back online. It is going to be a regame. Very early on in the game, not much happened. Our ruling is the same as all Hearthstone tournaments. Unless there's lethal present on board, then it is a regame in the case of a disconnect.
Okay, so they're going to go. I don't think it's going to get much better than Tempo Storm's hand, but the Tempo Mage has a lot to make up. Now, a lot of people might start thinking, well, how do they know it's Tempo Mage? The primary reason is you wouldn't counter queue Reno Mage into J-Drew. That's just actually like a bad choice. So they have to assume that's some kind of aggressive mage in general. I think if you're a freeze mage, you might have a better chance than Reno Mage, but it's still a pretty tough matchup if they ramp up really well, and they're also playing Ragnaros and Feral Rages. That's a really bad choice too. So I'm pretty sure Tempo Storm is locked in and knows that this is Tempo Mage.
Yeah, which could, it probably affected their mulligans in the last match, but we'll see if they can get that hand, similar hand back. Can you do it twice in a row? I don't know.
It's not really up to them to decide, DJ, unfortunately. It's not like, well, I'm going to make sure I draw the same exact cards If it was, if we had physical control over it, then perhaps, or we can resume from replay, but that's just not the case.
Not the case. Don't have the technology yet. But while we wait for Life Coach to get back online, let's go ahead and take a look once more at the standings and what these teams have to gain and have to lose with wins here. The 4 teams still left in contention for the final 2 playoff spots are Complexity, G2, Luminosity, and Tempo Storm. G2 with a win in this series would secure their spot. Let's go ahead and take a look at those specific scenarios for each of those teams to be able to qualify. And again, first off comes down to a win, but Tempo Storm also has to rely on some losses. So not only do they have to perform in this match, they also have to hope that Cloud9 performs in the match later on against Luminosity.
Yeah, so I mean, while G2 really just punches their ticket by winning versus Tempo Storm, if Tempo Storm is able to win, they eliminate G2, but they're still not necessarily in themselves. It still could be Complexity and Luminosity. There's only 3 outcomes that can happen today. Either Complexity and Luminosity get in, Complexity and G2 gets in, or Tempo Storm, G2 and Luminosity get in, or Tempo Storm and Complexity. Not really in anything in between, unfortunately, because of the way the tiebreakers work. If you have the same exact record, then it goes by games won. If you have the same exact games won, then it goes based off of how many losses you have, because we do win percentage differential. And we haven't actually shown you the games lost because I don't know if it'll really matter in the end. It just comes down to how many, what's the record? Because I think the bare minimum, if you win the series, get you 6 wins in the game column, and that should do all the tiebreakers for us.
Well, we did get word that Life Coach, while he's back, his internet is not 100% stable yet. So we are going to go with the scenario I mentioned earlier. Tice is going to take over the mage. RDU will take over Life Coach's second deck, at least until Life Coach
back online.
Deems that his internet is stable enough. But he will be a part of the call, as far as I'm told. And he'll be communicating still. It'll just be Tice piloting the mage deck going into the remake in a few moments instead of Life Coach. So
yeah, and I guess in the meantime, we'll probably just have Tice and RDU talking. Life Coach might peace out until he's able to get his internet out.
He's in the call.
Oh, he's in the call?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that he wasn't able to.
His connection is just not stable enough for him to play confidently, knowing without worrying about a disconnect. So to be safe, just going to have Tice pilot instead of him. Doesn't really affect too much. I think Tice and Life Coach probably have about equal experience on Tempo Mage. It's a deck that I haven't seen either of them play that much.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think the pilot only matters for teams that primarily rely on a specific shot caller or decision maker. Depends on what you want to label them as. There's a lot of teams that specifically just go by a vote system, and you always win 2-1 to some degree. Sometimes some people stay neutral, like I don't care, but more often than not, you're going to have someone that's primarily like pushing the vote in a specific way, and then they just do whatever is the majority. It almost doesn't really matter who's piloting. However, some teams say, you're the pilot, you're making decisions. If you need any questions, just ask us and refer to us for our opinion, which is also an interesting style of play.
Yeah. Take a look at the win percentages here. This is a total game wins over total game losses. It pretty much pans out exactly how the standings pan out, like you would expect. G2 and Team Liquid, pretty much the top 2 teams going into this week, I'd say, have the highest win percentage. The 2 teams qualified right now, Team Liquid versus Pro, sitting up there. There's a chance with G2, and if Luminosity and G2 win their matches today, the 4 highest win rate teams would be the 4 going to the finals, which makes a lot of sense.
That should be the way it works,
yeah.
TJ.
Well, it's not always, because Complexity has a less than 50% win rate, and they could end up making it despite having the 3rd worst win rate if G2 or Tempo or Luminosity loses today. So Complexity could end up making it to the playoffs with a sub 50% game win rate.
Well, Tempo Storm still has a pretty good hand. They have Wild Growth and Jade Spirit and Nourish, but G2's hand has gotten 100 times better. Like, the fact that they have the coin, they have Mana War, Mana Sorcerer's Apprentice, they even can coin into Barnes if they get something really powerful off of it. Something insane, Emperor Thorsan or Ragnaros Shot or a Flame Waker, then the world opens up significantly for G2. So their hand is very, very good right now. And Tempo Storm, they have a pretty good hand. I guess the only problem is that it's very slow. So using Nourish for card draw or ramp is going to really need them to have some better tempo swings in the future turns.
Job's done.
Yeah, this is a little bit slower of a start, so we'll see. G2 Esports does need some spell support for these minions. Mana Worm and Sorcerer's Apprentice benefit a lot from cheap spells.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Arcane Missiles is a cheap spell.
So the thing about G2's hand is that Mana Worm is not going to explode out the gate, just like you said. So they're going to have to budget their resources. Let's go ahead and listen in and see what the teams are talking about in these first couple turns.
It's really good against the early Jades, and it's really good with Mana Worm and with the Sorceress.
The Arcane Missiles, yeah. We can even Sorcerer's Apprentice and then maybe even, yeah, okay.
Yeah, just Sorceress, right?
And attack phase. No missiles, right? Never.
No, never.
Someday I'll be just like
You want missiles for their first Jade. It's already enough pressure, like now they have to like remove your minion instead of like playing their own. And then
Yeah, just got a J Spirit.
I mean, the only thing with right or idle, but the range is too small that we can get something that is.
Actually, we can get swipe.
Yeah, but then we could also the idle next turn. What's the point?
Yeah,
in
next turn we
idling
can
for fun?
swipe and still be fine, and then have Aya follow up.
Yeah.
I got a Blast. I got a second Apprentice.
do you ever play the second Apprentice? I don't know if you do.
I'm thinking of
coin.
I'm thinking of Coin, Apprentice, Missiles, just all. But
Missiles Blast, and you want a Frostbolt face or what?
Frostbolt the 2/3, or do you want to blast it and hope for missiles?
No, I think it's too aggressive. I would just like Frostbolt missiles. Isn't just Frostbolt missiles enough? Do we need to like go Coin, Sorceress, Blast the
Yeah, no. The
Frostbolt
coin.
face?
I don't like the coin use. I wouldn't mind having Apprentice here, but I don't like that we use the coin for that.
But you might also miss the 2-1. I would just Frostbolt. I think it's just fair. Frostbolt missiles and hope you hit, and then you just go for face. It's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful enough.
And
It's
you
also
keep the
nice.
24 bucks.
Yeah.
And if we would have played the Sorceress, we would have played one more spell, so more damage, and the 3/2 on the board, right?
Yeah.
So 2 cards for
Yeah, but
But for that we
I
lose
think
the
it's
coin.
too all-in. It's too all-in, I think. You want the coin for Barnes because you might get like Flame Waker, you might get Archmage
Antonidas.
Antonidas.
I also like that we now.
Yeah, well, this is not looking good. I think Temple Storm has Bite as their best removal for a 1-mana minion.
Job's done.
Yeah, and G2's got Barnes to follow this up into Emperor Thorsan, and what makes Barnes even more threatening is the fact that they have follow-up spells, so if they get like Antonidas or something crazy, okay, well, I guess they can't get Antonidas anymore.
And you can still get like Rag or...
Yeah, Rag could also just be like threatening game-ending damage.
Flamewaker's pretty good.
Yeah. Swipe could still bail Temple Storm out in this position.
Oh! Well, they can get a board reset, but then they're going to have to deal with Emperor.
Yeah, and then they still have an opportunity to get Mulch or second Swipe. I guess the problem is that they can't take any more damage at this point.
Yeah.
And they have to figure out a way to remove and get back onto the board. Even if they were able to squeeze out a Jade Idol this turn, that would have been really helpful, but they can't. So the Coin Emperor is really strong. You make Arcane Blast 0, and you have Blast Mage Thanos, or Blast Mage, Blood Mage Thanos to combine with it.
Blast Mage!
Blast Mage Thanos is not that card, nor is it a card of the upcoming expansion or anything. I don't know anything about that.
Raptor Blast Mage. We spoiled it. We're so sorry, Blizzard. Well, they can iron.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, let's go and listen to Temple Storm. See how spirits are in that camp.
We can't draw for any removal or anything. We have, so I want to play.
Maybe we just Drake?
So I really like them spell damaged. Yeah. I also wouldn't mind maybe even playing Telnos to cycle Telnos.
You could always play Antonidas, Arcane Blast the 2/2 and go Emperor into the 3/3. This is pretty awkward for him.
Is it?
But then we are like kind of left with an awkward hand with Apprentice.
I would also just go face if you do that line. I mean, if you do this line, I would definitely prefer to go face.
What I like is Ezra Drake, blast the 3/3.
Oh, but then you do the blast for the fireball. You lose the blast for the Antonidas. Yeah.
Maybe we just Antonidas. Is it too risky?
I wonder whether we don't lose too many fireballs. I mean, we can also just go Ezra Drake. I mean, Ezra Drake, Blood Mage, and then just go face and see what happens. And then next you do the Antonidas.
I like Ezra Drake in general here.
Yeah, do Ezra Drake.
I have an image. I have an image. Can I blast now?
No image. Just do. You can just do Thanos and face. Just go Thanos and face.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
100%.
Just trying to find draw. Is this where we just have to find mulch, not mulch for rage?
This is probably a mulch turn.
Like mulch.
I kind of like hero power to get out of the fireball frostbolt range. And we play the brand and hero power.
Yeah, I think that's okay, right? Like we don't expect double fireball. 2 discounts, so Firelance Portal is 5, fireball is 2. They can still do that. Unless the Firelance Portal was the card they just drew. They'd have to have both discounted.
Alright.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
Yeah, here's the mulch. Also pretty clear.
Tyrion. Is that? Oh, Frostball. That's really good. So Antonidas, Sorceress, maybe.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
Oh, a blast even. Oh my god.
You're kidding me, right? That's so sick.
Yeah, just go Antonidas, Sorceress, Image. I don't know. I would kill the Bran, but like blast the.
What can Bran do here?
Crossbow the Bran.
I would also.
You can have like Feral Rage and like a Jade guy, and then it might be like a little bit of trouble, but not that much.
No, you can also kill Bran. I mean, what's the problem, right? You just double arc and blast it. I don't mind.
And then Frostbolt the 3/2, I think.
Yeah. Oh, what's this 3/2? No, I would Frostbolt face.
Why do we Frostbolt face? We have lethal with 12.
Yeah.
What is the third rage? Is that something? Or?
Yeah, but now we still have the Antonidas. Like, this is the turn they cannot Feral Rage yet.
I would Frostbolt the 3/2.
Yeah, you can also Frostbolt the 3/2. You don't want the Frostbolt 4/4? No, okay, whatever.
It doesn't matter that much. It's good anyways, right?
It's quite clean. Haha. 4/5.
Haha, yeah. That's what happens when Thais plays.
That's when Thais gets to Tempo Mage.
Haha.
Yeah, that's quite the hand. 4 fireballs and Tyrion. If you amassed all of that burn, including the Tyrion weapon, that's, 39? A nice, cool 39. Not to mention that you can't even kill the Antonidas right now. So I think Temple Storm is just toasty toast. They can't choose both. They can't remove Emperor Antonidas, and they can't gain enough health. Unless it was specifically mulch, innervate, feral rage, I think they were just dead. So that's going to wrap up game 2, and that's a tied series 1-1.
Yeah, it's a real bummer for Temple Storm. You could see just saying pretty upset about that one, but
yeah, it's just tough. You know, it's one of those things that it's been part of the game for a while. Just disconnects happen. So you know, G2 taking a really important game to win back the series because they lost an unfavorable. Then Tempo Mage would have been out, and Jade Druid would have potentially ran over another deck, and then they would have to play Priest into that, which opens them up to a Warlock counter pick, and then G2 would have been really behind for the rest of the series. So now it's pretty even though. So now anything can happen. We have Tempo Mage available. Oh, sorry, up for G2, and then now hopefully Tempo Storm has something to kill the Tempo Mage. I guess they have their own Priest. They could go with Shaman. Shaman's always a viable choice against Mage in general. Very strong.
If it's mid-range, it's not as good. I would definitely expect the Priest here, since Priest doesn't have too many counters anyway. Priest was usually played against Reno Mage in the past, and of course, with Tempo Mage in the lineup, Reno Mage can't be a possibility. So you can go with the Dragon Priest to counter the Tempo Mage. Now it's not a guaranteed matchup, but it is favored for the priest, but not by too much. Temple Mage has pretty even matchups across the board. Even their good matchups are not that good. Their bad matchups are not that bad. So we'll see if Temple Storm can get this this priest going, maybe pick up a few wins and unfavorables, then they can still come back. But it all depends on what they decide to choose here. Guessing the Dragon Priest, but they're still taking some time to decide.
Yeah, Shaman feels like this is one of the better percentages because Shaman has so many tools against Temple Mage. It can remove a lot of those early game minions with weapons and Totem Golems. It's a little bit hard for Temple Mage to remove it very efficiently. If you get Totem Golem out, they have to have Arcane Blast with spell damage, or they have to get a really good outcome of locking out Totem Golem with mirror images, and then you're able to leverage your minion board and your damage that way. Not to mention that you might be off the coin, and then you're going to be in trouble that way because you don't have access to extra resources. And then Shaman also has, if they play mid-range, they also have the ability to hex really big threats. They have the ability to push damage with a bunch of weapons or spell or like Thunderbluff Valiance type of situations. So it's interesting because I know that back in the day, like Temple Mage actually was pretty favored against mid-range decks because it would be able to punish them for being slow. Not really the case though, because mid-range Shaman has so much removal and so much versatility to their deck that it's kind of hard to overwhelm them. But then the problem becomes, are you actually playing a mid-range Shaman or are you playing aggressive Shamans? We've actually seen a mix of both.
Yeah,
since the patch.
I'm waiting for teams to play like full-out aggressive Shaman.
Like
go back, Doomhammer, Rock Biters. We saw Luminosity do it last week prior to the changes. Maybe they cut Small Time Buccaneer for something different. Argent Squire, perhaps, which was an old aggro Shaman build.
Just like Leopard Gnomes start coming back and you're like, what? What year is this?
Yeah, if we remember back to like 2014, Chalky from Luminosity, back then Dignitas, was the first player to make the super aggressive face hunter decks. First player to put Worgen Infiltrator in those decks just for a guaranteed extra 2 damage in that 1-drop slot. So,
oh man,
now that's a pretty good hand.
Well, Firelance Portal is not exactly what you want for G2, but having the Mana Worm and Sorcerer's Apprentice with Mirror Image, that's the kind of opening hand that can really help you get the edge over the Dragon Priest. Dragon Priest does have Northshire Cleric though. Anything outside of that feels a little bit too optimistic to keep. Twilight Guardian doesn't even activate any dragons in your hand, and you might not gain the activation, so you're going to toss that back. I think with Dragon Priest, one of the hardest things about that deck is the discipline to mulligan correctly, because it feels so tempting sometimes to keep certain cards, but you have to be very optimistic.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like they pitched a Shadow or Death and got back a Shadow or Death.
Someone injured?
So we'll see if that affects them. Not too many death targets in this deck. It's Emperor and Archmage Antonidas. And they find Arcane Intellect as well. So G2 is a pretty good start. It's all up to if they want to give the Northshire Cleric a draw or coin out the Mirror Image. But let's go and listen to G2 and hear their thought process.
The best, because if you go Sorceress and they pain it, you don't have like a real continuation.
Well, then you have Mana Worm. Then you have Mana Worm Image on 2. And Intellect on 3. But isn't it just strictly better than, or isn't Coin Apprentice just strictly better, kinda?
Yeah, I also like Coin Apprentice, and then you can just clear off the healer immediately, right?
And what if they play the 2/4? Against the 2/4 Mana Worm is better.
2/4. The other one is. Well,
do you want to play Mana Worm Coin Image, or do you only want to play Mana Worm?
No, actually, Mana Worm is fine, right? Mana Worm Coin Image is fine. Yeah, I like it.
Do we Coin Image? Do we Coin Image?
Good, that makes it 3/3. That's really good.
And if they heal the image, then they're way too behind. That's
they just lose 2 mana for a card. I actually like that, yeah.
And if they go for the 2/4, they are okay.
Attack the worm, right? Otherwise, they can just attack the worm.
Yeah, I was just thinking of this Apprentice coin, like Coin Apprentice. That was my
feature, I think. If he has Frostbolt after this, what happens? We just lose, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but it should be done, right?
But I don't see like the other plays Hero Power Pass, and yeah, then we lose guaranteed.
Pretty all in anyway. At least like we'll have the Shadow Word Death activation, worst case scenario. But also, if he doesn't have an answer, maybe we can Cabal Talon Priest.
No, you could Sorceress. It's kind of tricky. So if you Sorceress and pass, he's gonna trade your board, and the best thing he can have is the 3/4. But then next turn you can go like Intellect into something and try to kill some things. If you trade and ping, you have like a 3/1.
Yeah, ping is better, right? You want to attack and ping, right? Then he cannot heal himself, otherwise he could heal himself. He can also otherwise buff with a bird, which is devastating, right?
Yeah, I guess we wanna play around the board.
I also see like I know like Priest has a big problem dealing with 1 HP minions too, so I kind of like the.
No, we attack for sure. We attack for sure, right? I mean, so then we should also ping, yeah.
Yeah, do that. Because now if they play the 3/4, you can also like Arcane Intellect next turn and like kill the 3/4 with your 4/1.
No.
They end up having a cleric, which is annoying, but what can we do?
All right, so Tempo Storm picking up the Twilight Whelp was massive. That was a really fortunate draw. And then G2, because they went for a coin Mana Worm, they were anticipating that it can get a lot of work done. However, it's not been a smooth sailing. This Arcane Intellect, though, letting them get more gas. Second Mana Worm. So if Tempo Storm plays some kind... Oh, wow. Okay, Silence is interesting.
That's a...
But they can draw a card here, which is really nice.
They can draw a card off the mirror image. See if they can pick up a 2-drop. Blackwing Technician. They need to hold on to that Twilight Whelp so they can get value out of Dragon and Operative next turn. Yeah, unless they're confident in their ability to draw a dragon, but... I guess if they don't draw a dragon, they can still play Blackwing Technician. Maybe they feel like Twilight Whelp needs to be on the board to start contesting things, because that mirror image is still going to be there. If they just pass over this turn, that gives a lot of initiative over to G2, and that's very scary.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a really tough position. Like I said, the hardest thing about Dragon Priest is discipline, being able to play to percentages and not necessarily based off of just your feel. Like, I feel like I'm going to draw a dragon next turn.
Percentage-based plays, Dan.
Percentage-based plays. And we say that ironically, and we get sometimes made fun of as casters, but you have to just play percentages. And I like this play from Tempo Storm. They're looking at their deck and they say, how many dragons are remaining in the deck? If we're playing the average of 12 dragons, then it's like, how many draws have we played so far? So like 8. So 12 out of the remaining 22, 21. You're more likely than not to draw a dragon. So should you play those percentages? You should, probably, most likely. And then what's the reward for it? You get a 5/6 on curve. You get to bully the board a little bit. Or you can even adapt. You can play Blackwing Technician, draw a card again, and make sure you have better plays for the following turns.
Yeah.
It's a hard decision to make, but in the end, it's just strictly numbers.
Strictly numbers. That's how you got to play sometimes. And let's go and take a listen into G2 now and see what kind of numbers they're thinking about.
I don't even know whether they played 2 Holy Nova. You cannot get behind in tempo. I mean, it's just double apprentice. What do you want to do? Otherwise, they play Blackwing Corruptor, you are via dead. Insta dead.
I would double apprentice, so I think it's the only option.
Yeah, Mana Worm Blast is too slow or something like.
Or Sword Blast is also too slow because they can corrupt it.
We can go 1 Blast. That's what I was thinking.
I don't even know what you want to blast. I don't even know what you want to what do you want to blast? There is nothing.
The 2/3.
But
if they don't have Nova now, it's so good if they don't have Nova.
They might not play Nova, like not every priest plays Nova.
What are our
I
choices?
can't see the options.
Oh, it's Emperor, Barnes, and Water Elemental.
I think the Emperor's fine.
I definitely like Emperor more than the Barnes.
It's definitely not Barnes because of Dragon deck. It's Water Elemental or Emperor.
Let's pick up the Emperor. It can help us a little bit more than the Water Ellie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the silence is right here.
Yeah, just clear one of the 3/2s, yeah.
Do it damage the 0/2? One phase damage
Yeah.
is kind of...
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. We just get bored and win. That's how we win.
There's no way. Pre-hit the sorcerer and the 1 damage phase.
Yeah, I mean, they do this because they want to play Fireman's Portal next turn, right? So we denied that at least.
I wonder.
second one over him. How convenient. Double mana.
Summoner into portal or something.
Yeah.
You could go Thanos Blast and trade the Sorceress. Is it bad?
And what do you want with the Telnos?
Yeah, Thanos Blast and trade the Sorceress, yeah.
Into the 5/6 or what? Or into the Cleric?
With the 5/6, we need to get rid of the body.
5/6, then we don't lose against Dragonfire Potion.
Yeah.
In the Raptor.
I think it's okay. We have to kill that minion because we are okay on board and we have like good follow-ups.
Yeah, on the other hand, now they can farm the Blood Mage, heal, and draw another card. So it's kind of, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Draw is a little slow for them, paying 2 mana to draw.
But if you would have killed the duel, I mean, what was it even? So we can kill basically 5/6 instead of 1/6. So the other play gives them 4 more attack on board. So that's equivalent of 2.5 to 3 mana. And we keep a 3/1, which is equivalent of 2.5 5 to 3 mana. Yeah, interesting.
It's super close. I mean, now we also defend our mana room better. Like, and they didn't have Corruptor, so...
Having a very slow hand.
Alright, so Temple Storm set up for an Emperor Thaurissan, but I actually kind of like to hold on it for a little bit because their hand's not amazing. And now they get to set up a Blackwing Technician, which still challenges the Mana Worm. Most importantly, that they don't lose a lot of resources because the Tempo Mage is about to hit some really powerful mana turns. Face of Summoner is not something that you always account for because it's always in and out of lists. But starting from turn 7 onwards with Firelance Portal, that's a really easy way to fall behind board. So I like that they're keeping in mind the amount of resources they have.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. And, you know, Emperor would have been challenged by just like a fireball into the board. The full board would be able to be cleared since they would have had to trade into Blood Mage as well. So I like this fact. And this matchup can come down to value matchup at times. So we've seen it multiple times in the past couple weeks. Tempo Mage versus Dragon Priest. Orgrimmar Aspirant, I believe is what that is.
Yeah, it's an Inspire card that buffs your weapon every time you use it. It's not exactly a card that's been played at all and constructed. It's just kind of a card you might see in Arena if you don't have any other options for a 3-mana card. So sometimes there's that. But I haven't actually seen that card be useful.
Yeah, those 3-mana 3/3s that all have like very specific effects like Mind Control Tech and Orgrimmar Aspirant. They added a bunch of new 3/3s as well. Very situational, but can have a lot of impact when you get that very specific scenario. This one's just going to be a vanilla 3/3.
So with that Wormrest Agent, that actually sets up Tempo Storm to once again draw, build the board, and remove. That's something that the Dragon Priest is really good at doing. And the big question becomes if Tempo Storm wants to use their Shadow Word Death here. It's a little bit of a waste if your opponent's going to be dropping Firelance Portal next turn because you know that your opponent might have a 5-tack minion, or if they play Ragnaros or Emperor or Antonidas. These are all threats that you want to use Shadow Word Death on, so it's a little bit hard to justify it sometimes using it in this capacity because it's only just half of the Face of Summoner.
Yeah, they are going to be able to get some really nice trades if that's the case, though. They can finally take off this mirror image off the board, which has been bugging me for about 3 turns.
It's actually nice. It clogs the hand, it clogs the board up. So if Tempo Mage wanted to go super wide, it's just one less space for them.
Yeah.
There's really no way for you to get punished for leaving up that 0/1.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take now a listen into G2 and see how they want to handle this as the mirror image is still left up.
So what are the possible plays here? I see a play where we play Water Elemental, Frostbolt the 3/4, attack the 2/4, and hope for good missiles. Or we just Firelance Portal here.
Yeah, just Firelance Portal.
Is it?
Into what? The Cleric or the 3/4?
The 3/4. I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
You like it more than Water Elemental, Frostbolt the 3/4, attack the 3/4?
We cannot use the spells. We need the spells for Antonidas. So what about Firelance Portal the 2/4? Then our 3/3 becomes eaten over. That's what we don't want. because that would also confirm more face damage.
I want to win the board game.
Yeah, just fire then 3-4 then, yeah, sure.
Let's see what you get. Maybe you get like a charger.
A 5-5. We don't attack? I don't like it. The 1-5 eats
I
it.
don't like it either.
The 2-1.
Or that.
Nah, it's still Emperor.
Brand Corruptor to kill the 5-5, right?
Ooh. I like it. I like it a lot. He has to immediately deal with the brand. He can't drop rag.
Yeah, he's dealing with the brand and
Do we need the super great value from? Do we
Nah,
need
we don't
super
need
great
value at all in
value?
this matchup. We just
No,
need
I
more.
don't think so. I'd rather
like
make
a
sure
lot.
the 5-5 is gone this turn.
Yeah, we have 4 minions on board, super wide on board. I like it a lot.
we are fine if they go for rack next turn because it's just RNG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
Brand
go
Corruptor.
brand 5-5, and we don't trade into 3-3. We just go face with 2-4, I think.
Who knows why
Yeah, because of rack.
Well, if
Like
it
the
was
free-
Rag, we should double trade, but I think
You think?
it's Ragnaros, right, versus just Flamewaker stuff. And if we
Okay.
take out 6 health of our own,
What if he has a spell
Flamemaker is
to kill
a
it
lot more
or-
effective.
What if he has... alright.
I like to play around Flamemaker stuff more with not
Yeah.
trading.
The idea is that there's no Flame Strike to begin
Who
with.
cares about rag? Like, it's just a little bit more value he gets from rag. It's really not that much. Like,
I think we probably go for it, right?
No, okay, let's go.
Do we Flamemaker Frostbolt missiles or?
I think you trade the 3-3 first, you play Flamemaker, Frostbolt, the 5-4, and then you missiles, right? Or is it better to keep the attack?
What to do?
Okay, I see. Yeah, no, I would Flamewaker and missiles first. Do Flamewaker and missiles first, then we have the best distribution, and then we can still decide.
But don't we attack first with the 3-3 into the 2-4? Like otherwise it can be
I
really
would Frostbolt
awkward.
into the 5-4 first, because that should always happen, and then I think missiles, right?
No, that's Flamewaker, okay. No, what about the distribution? Yeah, okay. You can also Flamewaker and attack then first, right? If you want to attack. Oh no, we can actually distribute. No, Frostbolt it, and then we can. It's okay. Frostbolt is better. And then you missile, and then you can still see what happens.
The attack here, right?
Now you can attack it, yeah, probably, because now we cannot hit it so often anymore.
Yeah,
I pick the brand, I guess.
What? No. Yeah.
I had a ping left.
Heal.
I don't think we care about the heal anymore at this point.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
We Corruptor, heal, another spy, right? So we
I mean,
always have the
yeah,
two.
we do both. We do
So we
both.
heal first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do we
because we're not picking one-drop dragons, are we? Maybe we are. Maybe we are. Let's nether spy first. Nether spy first. What if we do pick up like 2 elves and we play them for board?
Okay, another spin first.
Yeah.
Once upon a time.
Azure?
Can't see them. Can't see them.
It's Midnight Drake, Volcanic Drake, and Azure. The other 2 ones are trash.
Azure Drake.
Sure, Azure Drakes. It's fine. What's the next one?
And then Operative, Fairy Dragon, and Nefarian.
Operative. All right.
Operative.
Cool story.
Then go
Now we
Blackwing
heal
on
first.
the...
Now we heal first.
Yeah, heal the
On which
1-3.
one?
Heal.
The
1-3.
1-3.
Miss. Yeah, 130.
Yeah, I will trade the 1-3 into the 3-1.
Yep. And then Blackwing the 4.
Yep.
Blackwing the 2-4 and trade the
Yep.
1-5 into the 3-1.
Yep.
Base with his brawn.
There's absolutely zero strategic value in killing that mirror image.
I know.
But gosh darn it, Dan, it's triggering me.
I'm telling you, dude. It's actually, if anything, it's really good distraction because it triggers people.
I'm seething.
Mirror image wants you to attack into it. That's the whole point of why it's called mirror image, TJ. It's supposed to look like Jaina, and she wants to bait you into attacking. And Tempo Storm, by the way, I have to say, this game, a lot of the draws off the top of the deck have been pretty nuts. You know, being able to get the dragons or making sure to get the proper draw so they can make sure that they fit all their mana efficiently. Look at this, got Ragnaros off the top. That's really good too.
I really like VLPS's statement earlier. He's like, "Oh, you don't need value in this matchup." after they had drawn 4 cards from Northshire Cleric, we're playing Bran on the board into Blackwood Corruptor into another Spy Historian.
Yeah. I mean, value doesn't hurt, but if you can play value and tempo, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Man, this is just crazy value this Northshire Cleric's gotten. That Northshire has been there since the beginning of this game. Okay, at this point, they have way too much value. It's kind of crazy.
Oh! They killed it!
Why? Oh, because of Ragnaros. Okay. I thought they were going to play like Jack and Darpin to get more value, but we were talking about how Ragnaros is really insane. That's when you kill Mirror Image.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I don't even need to see the outcome of this match.
Ragnaros comes into the hand for G2 and might look like their best play in this position here. You can use Water Elemental to remove a minion off.
Is it even worth removing the Bran anymore?
I think so. I think your opponent can... That's how you get blown out. I think not killing Bran is actually how you would lose if Ragnaros gets the ideal hit.
I suppose.
If G2 hits their opponent's Ragnaros, then all of a sudden Temple Storm's a little bit of an awkward situation.
Yeah.
But if you leave up Bran, then you might give them some opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Choosing not to use Arcane Blast in this position too, because they want to have a spell with Archmage Antonidas. Oh. And this is what we're talking about. Now all of a sudden Temple Storm's in an awkward position. Let's see if they can close this game regardless of Rag being there or not.
Is that a bit because they ping off our cleric next turn?
That's fine.
If we heal it, then we're not developing anything else anyway, so.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the best play. I don't see anything else. We can go double up parade and try to find lethal.
Yeah, it's 9/9 for sure.
We can do that.
Be able to do it with this Rag. Trade the 9/9 into the Rag anyway next turn. You could also discover Fireball.
We also want
Fireball, we just go face.
Yeah, I mean the idea is the cleric needs skipping the 9/9 to get some needs.
Yeah.
So.
The one damage phase is relevant as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can try to snipe the Crusher.
What's the best play to snipe the Crusher? Fireball the 3/6, ping the Crusher.
Yeah, and trade. And trade, and maybe you can then indeed
To do.
Probably. I bet Fireball the 3/6 has to happen, so you can already do that. Oh wait. Actually, 3 this does.
We can also use the blast and ping, like blast the 9/9 and ping the 1/1 or something. Then it's just a 50-50.
What do you mean, blast? What do you want to do?
I want to fireball the 2/6. I want to trade Water Alley into 5/3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then like I will use the blast here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Blast the 1/1, right? Like, or blast this, I guess.
No, blast the 9/7.
Yeah. That direction, Rag.
Yeah, if you hit now, maybe.
Nope, I missed.
Spoilers.
Operative number 1.
Let's take our time here, guys. Hold on a second.
No,
we want to consider DC right now. Are we far enough
Is it
ahead?
lethal?
It's lethal. 9 plus 6 is 15.
Yeah, okay.
So DC is not a contemplation here? Okay.
Also,
yeah,
what is...
Oh, we have to attack before the DC,
why can't we not see the... Why can't we see your discovers ever now?
Oh,
yeah, maybe we want to
This is actually a huge problem going into the next few games. We can't see your discover with Breeze.
Yeah, I'm gonna relog.
Like, I know the ESL.
Like Gar conveniently puts his weights right in his camera shot.
I know, with his yoga mat.
And he
works out.
He strategically placed them to make them look like they were used.
Yes, he like twists it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll move this one to the side here a little
I
bit.
haven't used that strategy since I had to eat like my vegetables when I was 7 years old at the dinner table. Like rearrange it so I looked like I ate it a little bit.
Like mush him a little bit onto the plate.
Yeah, when I really just only ate the mashed potatoes. It's a 2-1 lead right now for Temple Storm as we go into game number 4. Really important counter pick again, but this is all going to theory. You know, right now the Jade Druid got the win against Paladin. The Tempo Mage killed the Jade Druid. Now Priest has won against the Tempo Mage. So everything is holding serve according to the favorable matchups on paper. This should most likely evoke a Warlock response from G2, although we have seen some interesting picks in the past to save that, because mean, perhaps G2 feels like their Warlock is better suited for something else.
Yeah.
There's also the element of surprise. You know, maybe Warlock isn't Reno Warlock. Maybe it's Zoo. It's probably not the case. It's most likely Reno Warlock, especially if Tice is playing it and RDU's not.
Yeah.
But if, this is one of the things you should keep in mind. Not everything is as they seem. Sometimes you might bust out the random deck. You know, I would love to see a little bit more variety as opposed to, well, it's Warlock, it has to be Reno Warlock. Oh, it's, Priest, it has to be Dragon Priest. There are different builds of it available. It's just not nearly as strong as those other decks.
Zoo could be making a comeback.
You think so?
I don't know. It's really hard to say. I feel like the changes that came about make it so that decks are starting to play a little bit less super early game. And I feel like Zoo might be able to capitalize on that because we've seen in the past very small shifts in the meta. Not even nerfs, not even changes, but small shifts in the meta towards certain decks can make Zoo become more powerful.
Yeah, so I can definitely see it happening. So, for example, let's say Shaman kind of falls off, which it's a hard thing for me to imagine, but if it does, then and Tempo Mage rises, then maybe that's when Zoo comes out because it's good against Pirate Warrior and the and Tempo Mage.
Yes,
hypothetically speaking. Now this might be one of those things where Zoo's like not necessarily dominating, but it's just like a counter wheel. Like it kills those decks, and those decks kill like Jade Druids and Renos or whatever, and then Reno kills, some of those other decks too, and it just kind of goes into a giant wheel. It could be the case. I personally don't think Zoo will be like a tier 1 deck for a while, at least until we see more of the new expansion. But even then, when rotation comes out with Ungoro, they're losing power overwhelming, TJ. So if you do see Zoo,
I think Zoo decks right now don't even play power overwhelming.
If you do see Zoo, cherish those moments, TJ.
Yeah. Well, the past like 4 iterations of Zoo haven't played power overwhelming.
Treat every click like it's your last.
I really like the Zoo decks.
I'm gonna make that a Tumblr motivational poster.
I really like the Zoo decks that have put in Bloodsill or oh man, what the
Corsair Raider? Oh, Corsair.
The 1/2 that destroys the trophy.
Is it Corsair? I think it is Corsair.
Yeah.
Right. And then you summon Patches.
Yeah, you summon Patches.
And then you play Direwolf Alpha because you realize you're not Shaman, you don't have Flame Tongue.
Yeah. It's pretty good because you say they play like Fire War Axe. You just destroy the weapon and summon them 1/1 from your deck. It's really good.
It's good.
Trust me, Dan. I'm an expert on deck thinning.
And win conditions.
I've been thinning my deck for 3 years.
Oh, I've been thinning it for 2 months. It'd be great, TJ. We should start a Tumblr with motivational posters.
Motivational Hearthstone posters.
Yeah. That should be Hearthstone Motivation Posters.tumblr.com by TJ and Frodan. And our first post will be, you miss 100% of the lethals you don't see. And it's a picture of Redfall at Blue Sky. Oh no, I brought it up again. Oh, he's going to be so mad at me. All right, let's go into game number 4 here. Tempo Storm starts off with no early game plays here against the Reno Warlock. Now, Reno Warlock has the Twilight Drake. Oh, wow, they have Twilight Drake and Fixed Shambler. But Tempo Storm just picked up the silence, so looks like it's going to be a back-and-forth battle in the mid-stage of the game. Right now, there's not a lot happening in the early phases.
Well, we'll see. One thing that Tempo Storm doesn't have is like a way to easily deal with the silent Twilight Drake without trading a minion in, like trading a full body of a minion in. And he'll pass on turn 2 is not the start you really want against the Reno Warlock. But let's go and listen into G2 and hear what they're thinking as they plan out these turns leading up to Twilight Drake.
Then 2/4.
No, but they defend 2/4 and 3 mana. But okay, so now you want to tap, right? Yeah.
Yes. They kept 3 cards, but they had no play yet. So that really says to me, operative, silence, that kind of stuff.
Just too good, right? We cannot play the operative on 5, but
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, we have a play next turn. Our turn next turn is going to be either Shadow or Death or Silence, depending on which of the big threats they play.
but it's really good versus like a Drake is just good versus Warlock.
It's operative Spellbreaker, but we can still buff it out of range to 4/6, right?
You tap Doomsday and they just silence it? What do you do?
Yeah, but it's kind of the same with Drake, right? And now we are not running into Blackwing Corruptor. We run into turn 4. And we get a card.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I love it a lot, Tap Doomsayer.
Okay. Yeah, let's go. Sure.
It has to be incredibly annoying for them. They will also use the silence here if they have it.
Let's hope they don't have pain.
Oh, and what you're saying, if they use the silence, we can get 410 into 410, yeah?
Like, it's insane. It's just game winning, I think.
So putting the powered shield on it? Like killing the Doomsayer?
We have to silence the Doomsayer, right? Do you both agree?
Yeah. The question is, do we push the 4 face damage or not? This isn't necessarily a fast match, but we have to like keep pushing face damage. I don't know.
Do, right?
Kind of do.
Do you want
we
to
have
power shield to find pain? Do we power shield to find pain?
No, we play the Northshire first. Put it on the Northshire.
Wait,
we can still find pain that way.
We're going for the. Hold on. No.
Fast.
We're going for the highest tempo, right? Because we don't beat them in the long game. I like Talon Priest, Power Shield, the Talon Priest. And
all right.
We need to draw a card to find something for the dragon, but we also don't necessarily need to play Cleric this turn.
Yeah. All right, it's fine. I'm just kind of worried about coin stipend, but.
Man, damn.
Oh no, we had the coins. Yeah, I guess we're fine that way.
Like the thing is, if we find the pain, we can save the silence for the Drake because we still have to kill the Drake eventually.
Yeah, but it's too risky that we don't get it.
Wow. Well, the ordering of that was really interesting because the Temple Storm wanted to prioritize keeping the Cabal Talon Priest alive, and they kept saying, no, save the silence, find the pain. Except they did find the pain, and now the silence isn't there. Really awkward because that Faceless Shambler is going to come down like what's the expression?
Like a hurricane.
Ton of bricks. Oh yeah, rock him like a hurricane. That's also a thing too. Sylvanas is really powerful too. Wow, there's going to be a lot of board tension coming up here, TJ.
Ooh. I'm so pumped.
Reno Jackson being drawn is actually very significant too, because now G2 can extend a little bit onto the board, and if all else fails, just Reno and stall for time until they find AoE clear. G2 has the Shambler, which is originally what I was looking at, but then that doesn't allow them to utilize their mana fully. And with 12 power on the board, you can't exactly ignore this, so I think you have to set up a taunt.
This is getting tough.
Yeah, and then you can't play anything for 4 mana or more because then you can't play something else, and you can't life tap. This is actually a little bit of a tricky turn here for G2.
Might be better to Shambler. I don't think you're ever going to get more powerful than a 410's worth of stats.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try and play greedy and go Emperor this turn, or... Yeah, I don't know.
Reno's the most efficient play, and it saves.
Oh yeah, they're low health. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I was thinking about Shambler, but seems like Reno is the most efficient play because next turn they can bump. They could face a Shambler, bump, and heal, so that way they can do that. Or they can, if there's 3 minions onto the board, they could play Second Rate Bruiser and Shambler. Or if there's 4 minions onto the board, they can play Mind Control Tech. So this is a huge punish.
The board tension is so thick right now.
But here's like the awkward thing. What if they steal the wrong target and then they give their opponent a really good board opportunity? Let's tune in into what G2 is thinking right now.
Combat math!
That's okay too. That's okay. It's not perfect.
So we face a Shambler of 410 here?
Yes.
And go full face?
No. I don't like the face, man. I just want to like value trade the 5/6, I guess.
Yeah, me too. Because it's a dragon. Yeah.
It's all about getting on the board, yeah. Like their Sylvanas is not even. It's quite awkward here. Oh, 410 from the MC tech. It fell.
And then 4 attack.
Help! There's too many 4 attacks.
410.
Let me think here. Me too.
Must consider.
Help! I need somebody. Help!
I like the pain on the 3/3. Blackwing the 4/1, or just kill the taunt straight up with 8 damage plus the Blackwing. Leave him with a 4-1, 4-10, 4-5.
To paint the 3/3.
Yeah.
So full, just straight in Corruptor and then paint.
What about painting 3/3, Black and Corruptor 4/1, and then just trade Sylph and just pass with the 3/6?
I don't hate that either. That's the other consideration as well.
Whoa, again? What? Trade?
Paint the 3/3.
Playing the 3-3. Black win the 4-1. 5-5 into the taunt. Just pass.
Yeah, and just pass it. Yeah.
Attack with Sylvanas.
Yeah,
and then just enter.
to die the next turn. But basically, I don't like the idea of just killing the taunt here because then our steals are so much worse as well.
Yeah, I agree. I was just also thinking about what about painting the 0/7? Like, if you steal that, it's so bad, man.
Or like trade the 4/10 in the 4/5, trade the other two in the 3/6, and then Mortal call the Sylvanas. Worst thing that happens, he steals a 4/5.
You want to what? Trade what?
I want to trade the 4/10 in the 4/5. The other two go in the 3/6. We Mortal call Sylvanas. He steals, on average a 4/2. Best 4/5.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
Yeah, do it. So we have time afterwards.
I will Emperor, I think. Think about it yet. But I think I like Emperor now.
Before you Mortal Coil Sylvanas, we can also give him some rubbish? No, that's not possible, right? No,
I think we just Emperor now. I think we Emperor now, if whatever. No matter what happens, even.
Yes! Good one!
Yeah,
Emperor, right? Yeah, we Emperor.
Yeah, Emperor is cool,
This should be like too much because we have Jiraxus.
I don't hate disconnecting right now.
Operative into...
Oh man, I feel like my internet connection is getting bad. No, operative into death, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dragonoid.
Yeah, we can't take the chance. Oh, twisting.
Nether. Actually, whoa. Nether's still better.
Of course, Nether. I'm just roping.
Nether's.
I'm just roping the nuts here, by the way. Just saying. Still have to def it. Can't give them to distance.
This is a pretty good moment at Jiraxis. Feels like pretty safe. You have stuff behind the board. You can even squeeze in the Dark Peddler as well. So I'm looking at G2's hand, and with single target removal in the Blast Crystal Potion, with taunts, heals, and AoE, I think this is a really good chance to set up for Jiraxis. I think the one thing you're worried about is what Draconoid Operative have discovered, but as long as you didn't put Sacrificial Pact in your deck, I think you're fine.
Yeah. It was a long time ago, Dan. I'm sure you remember. When Handlock was a popular deck, where the Handlock Mirror was so prevalent on ladder that you would put in a Sacrificial Pact in your deck just to counter Jiraxis. Remember those days?
I remember.
That was when...
We need to make Handlock great again. Please.
That was when Reynad was just starting up, climbing a stream, when he was a Handlock-only player.
When he invented Handlock, you mean?
When he invented Handlock.
Even though there were like 4 other deck lists out there.
Reynad invented Sacrificial Pact, too. Story has it that Reynad was so fed up of losing to Jiraxis that he created Sacrificial Pact.
Okay, people can't tell we're trolling anymore, I think, at this point. For the record, the first ever, I believe, recorded instance of a deck list being published and shared and being played was when Last Shadow, I believe, posted his Handlock list onto Hearthstone. Now, I'm not sure if he's the first person to ever play it. I think some other people were trying
like 2013.
But he was the first person that was credited with it, and of course, it was popularized by a lot of other people, Reynad being one of them. So let's go ahead and tune in back to the teams as this ends another episode of History of Hearthstone with TJ and Frodan.
And big minion. If they, like, the thing we can lose is we Jiraxis and maybe they wreck us or something. Maybe it's better to go, like, triple minion for that reason and go then Jiraxis. I actually like triple minion more because of wreck. That we haven't targeted to trade with wreck with PO.
And
I think if we go Jiraxis here, the ways to lose is to the Dragonite Crucial and to wreck.
It's never Hellfire double minion?
You really want to kill the cleric?
Yeah.
I just think that we cannot use a Hellfire later.
we can use it next time to kill them if we play triple minion and don't do nothing.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Then just do triple minion is fine. So this one, Earthen Ring and in-ring, yeah? Okay.
Attack minions.
Yeah, we gotta play Rag. Do we have to? I feel like we have to.
Rag, are we
No, we haven't seen Siphon Soul yet.
You can't just
That's the only
rely
card he
on
has
Rag
left.
clearing this board, right?
It's the only card that's definitely kill it.
I like
Assuming
this.
the Rag hits one of these targets, you won't have enough power on board to kill it on board.
No, the Rex is not so good here.
Yeah, I like Guardian and Drake, or Guardian and Talon Priest.
I feel like Defender
We
plus a couple
do-
value trades, and like we just completely lose board. Whereas if
But the
Rag hits one of
isn't-
these,
Like, Rag isn't winning, right?
I mean, Rek is not winning. I mean, if Rek gets removed,
Okay, so the idea is if we play Rag and he siphons it, then we can Guardian and Talon Priest. Is that the idea?
yeah. Or if he just doesn't have Siphon, he just has no answer to Rag on board. Or he has to like Shadow Bolt, trade everything on his board into it.
Has to go wide. Alright, let's go Rag. Sure. Please, Fire Lord.
that doesn't. I mean,
4-5.
please, the 5-4-5. Are we this
4-5 or
optimistic?
pace. 4-5 or pace.
That's actually really good. Now, like
nice.
the Rek, even if the Siphon Soul it.
Now it's like Shadow
there's
Bolt.
only one good target, right? We only wanted 4-5,
Yeah.
basically.
I wanna maybe PO Hellfire.
Do you really are you that scared of the board?
Many possibilities.
I would just Jaraxxus and go full face. Or is it too and hero power? Or is it too aggressive? Can they kill us?
But then you clear the cleric for sure, right? If you
Yeah, you clear cleric, but
So
do you like
many
it?
Possibilities.
I'm a little scared that something can go wrong, but
what is the alternate? Let's say, what is the alternate? You can PO the Farseer, you can send it in, you can Hellfire, what then?
I will go Drax here.
No, I like Jirax. Let's go Jirax.
Trade with Farseer, right?
I'm trading with Fars here for.
Kill with Farseer, yeah, with Farseer, of course. Yeah.
Wow, they're confident leaving Ragnaros onto the board. Bold. Yeah, they've already seen the Twisting Nether. Hey, look. Guaranteed 9-9.
Not bad. They can 9-9 in death.
They can 9-9 Death, they can 9-9 and Twilight Guardian and hope to shoot the 6-6.
Yeah.
If that happens, would G2 still have lethal?
Well, G2 currently has 8 damage on board. So they're dead to just a Hellfire or Abyssal Enforcer if they don't taunt or heal. So I think that's reasonable to play around.
I'm looking at how much damage. So let's say they play the Draconoid Crusher with this, and okay, they're not. Okay. But I was saying that if they load up the most damage possible and they push for a potential lethal on the next turn, could the G2 actually kill them? And I think they wouldn't, but we'll see. Ooh, to the face. I think that's actually not bad. But is there how much damage does G2 have right now?
PO, Hellfire, then you push 6 more.
I think they're 1 off lethal right now.
1 or 2 off, yeah. Wait.
Hold on. So they have 8 on power on board with the weapon plus the 2 minions.
Shadow
And then
Bolt?
if they Shadow Bolt, let's just count the health as 20 life. So they have 4 plus 11.
That is lethal, yeah. With Hellfire and then Shadow Bolt onto the Twilight
the
Guardian,
Hellfire
yeah.
counts twice over. So
Yeah,
it
it doesn't
okay.
kill off the Imp Gang boss.
You're right.
So they actually do push through for 10.
No,
So,
yeah, it's important that they sequence this perfectly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well done.
nicely done. And G2 ties up the series 2-2 with their handlock win. Got a little bit close at the end. If that Rag had sniped off a minion, they might have been in a little bit of an awkward spot without much removal left. But they get it done, and now the counter deck wars continue as G2 Esports with their deck pick take the favorable matchup.
Yeah. So going into game number 5, Temple Storm has the initiative. They don't have Jade Druid anymore, so they could pick their own mage, assuming that they're also playing Temple Mage, which seems to be the popular deck of choice. What else do they have available to them? See, they don't have Paladin, they don't have Hunter. Oh, they still have Warrior, which is interesting
Warrior
too, because
Shaman.
we haven't found an opportunity for a Warrior to really come out here.
Yeah.
And I think Temple Storm, when you see Warrior, ideally the match to be lined up into is Rogue, but they banned Rogue because they didn't really expect their Warrior to be left up. So this is kind of an interesting thing. I don't know what's going to happen with the Warrior, where they get squeaked in. It can go in anywhere.
Yeah.
I was watching some of the data, the live tracking yesterday, and Pirate Warrior actually has a really good win rate against Reno Lock, so maybe we see that.
Well, we'll see. The series is all tied up. We'll see who can break away and take a lead in the series. We're going to go to a break, but don't go anywhere, guys. More Trinity Series right after this.
Who's that pro?
We take their minion and we get 1 hour saves. We take their minion and we get 1 hour saves. It's correct.
It's Life Coach.
We take their minion and we get 1 hour saves. We take their minion and we get 1 hour saves. It's correct.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hearthstone Trinity Series presented by ESL and Twitch. My name is TJ, joined once again by Frodan, and it's all tied up in the series between G2 and Tempo Storm. Playoff hopes on the line for both these teams. Who's going to pull ahead?
Yep. So now we go into Game 5, which the best of 11 has effectively reset to a best of 7 now. And, you know, Tempo Storm, again, still on the brink of making it. G2 on the brink as well. Whoever is able to win the series will be in good position to make it. G2, of course, will automatically qualify, but Tempo Storm wins. They need Luminosity to lose their series, or I guess a better, more positive way is they hope Cloud9 will win their series, which is coming up next. After this match, we still have more action coming up on the Trinity Series. We have 2 matches. And remember, this is the last day of the regular season. After this, we're going to go to the live finals on March 16th to 18th with the top 4 teams going into a $150,000 prize pool double elimination bracket. So it's going to be a really exciting time. Hope you guys tune in for that.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff planned for the live finals that's going to make it one of the best Hearthstone shows of all time. That's all I have
Kappa?
to say.
I don't know. You're looking at me like you wanted to make some kind of quip or
Nope.
Witticism.
Nope.
Looks like we got nothing from TJ. Going into game number 5, Warlock is still up for G2. The ordering of this graphic doesn't show you, but right now G2 has won the most recent game, and they're on the Warlock. Tempo Storm counter picks into the Warlock, so they can choose their mage if they have a Tempo mage of some sort, which seems to be one of the most popular decks post 7.1 patch. They can also maybe squeeze in something really creative here that we're not expecting. Maybe they feel like their own Warlock's favored in the mirror, and they want to outskill them that way. There's a lot of possibilities that could happen here too. I mean, Tempo Storm is one of the more creative deck builders out of the teams. They're the ones that try to bring something new.
Yeah.
I don't think any other teams even tried to bring Cthulhu OTK, for example. Has any other team done that in this tournament?
Yes. One other team did it, but I can't remember.
Okay. I mean, that's the only game. There
was one other team that did it in 1 week.
Okay.
But I can't remember exactly who it was. I was Cloud9.
Okay, yeah. Cloud9 makes sense, too. They're definitely the more creative, too. They brought Reno Rogue. That was really sweet. So we're going to see what looks like to be Freeze Mage, although it still could be a Reno Mage coming out from Tempo Storm. If Saiyan's piloting it, though, I'm more inclined to believe it is Freeze Mage.
Tempo Storm did bring Freeze Mage in their games last week, so it would make sense. But let's go and listen to G2 as they go through these mulligans.
Ruff and Doomstack are all 3 good cards against Tempo Mage, but do you want to keep all of them? It's really, really risky.
I will never keep Demon Ref. I don't know why that will be a good card against Tempo Mage.
Yeah, I like to keep the Hellfire in the Doomsayer. You agree?
I'm not sure about Hellfire.
Wow, Hellfire has to be good. It's Demon Brass or Hellfire, but if you say Demon Brass sucks, then I would always take the Hellfire. Rado, say something?
Only Doomsayer, I think. I don't know.
Got Hellfire already.
I think Hellfire is good against... I mean, Rado, didn't you just say that Hellfire is good against Tempo Mage?
Good against Tempo Mage, but I'm not sure if it is Tempo Mage. Like, we might lose percentages if we mulligan for Tempo Mage and this Reno Mage or something else.
It's never been... yeah.
Might be Freeze.
Yeah.
I guess we have an okay-ish hand against Freeze.
We will like more threats.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it probably is now.
I don't know, there might also be a Tempo with a bad hand.
Yeah, I'll see.
They full mulliganed. We still have to keep the Doomsayer, right?
Yeah, the Doomsayer, but then the Hellfire's a little like, eh.
Oh, the OTK! Gonna pick up an Emperor and some damage.
Once the cycle starts going, it'll start going.
Definitely like to ping more than Iceblock.
Yeah, it's against Warlock. I have time to play Iceblock. I just want to ping as much as I can.
Oh, they G2 made the read, or not made the read, but mulligan for Tempo Mage, and you can't really mulligan otherwise, I suppose, because if it's Freeze Mage, you have time to adjust, especially with the multiple draws of Reno Warlock. But if it's Temple Mage, you don't have time to adjust. And if you mulligan incorrectly and run into Temple Mage and didn't keep Doomsayer, didn't keep Hellfire, things like that, then you're in lots of trouble because you can get blown out of the game really quickly.
Yeah, so this is one of the powerful things about Tempo Storm being able to hide their mage for the entire series up until this point, because then the Arena Warlock has to respect both the Tempo Mage and the Freeze Mage possibilities. I mean, Doomsayer isn't useless. You can use it to really throw off your opponent's Emperor turn, perhaps their Alex turn as well, but that usually means you're in a bad spot yourself if you have to do that. You're not necessarily taking the proactive threats. Cards like Mountain Giant are also really useful. So, G2, if they want to toss out something here to make sure that they have a 4-mana Mountain Giant, not necessarily a bad scenario. The big thing about Freeze Mage is that they're going to be really concerned about their draw potential right now. They don't have anything except freezes and stalls. I guess they have Evolved Cobalt to help extend the burst. Maybe they don't necessarily need to use Alexstrasza. But until they pick up some card draw, they are sitting ducks right now.
Yeah, that is a poor, poor hand. And this may be that matchup that G2 needed to sort of swing the matchup in the series in their favor. At some point, if you lose the first game, you have to win an unfavorable matchup. And maybe this was G2's plan, was to make sure that Temple Storm didn't really have a counter to the Arena Lock with the bans that they went with the Paladin ban. But we'll go and see. Let's go and listen to Temple Storm now that their hand just continues to get worse.
Pretty brutal hand.
I mean, Iceland's trades for 8 heal. But
yeah, if you Iceland here, you lose.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
I wonder.
I mean, we have the blocks.
Can we take 11? Can we take 11 once?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely taking 11.
Yeah, we gotta take 11.
Passing here, I'm just trying to will card draw into my hand at the moment.
This is unreal.
Face.
Positioning here, I guess, because of Argus.
Oh, lucky top deck.
I think we Blizzard. Next time we get Novice into Sayer Nova. Or Novice into another 2-drop for cycle.
Yeah, Con of Cold's not really common, but yeah, we could do that. I was just thinking I want to keep 2 minions out of AoE range, maybe. We tap here?
Yeah.
I want to tap and 1 minion, I think.
Tap is so clear, yeah?
I think it is at this life kind of thing. I also want to still draw heal, and this hand is not good enough to pressure.
Okay. So I want to tap and what?
Bruiser plays around Flame Strike.
Yeah.
Argus is like, I think Bruiser.
Yeah, okay.
Does positioning matter?
On the left side in this case, yeah.
Because of Con of Cold, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, the giant should have been on the right side, but I mean, cannot.
Yeah, I should have played Emperor in the middle for that.
We should probably save 1 Nova for the Emperor, right? This is kind of the turn we have to play the Emperor. We just
No, we're going to go Emperor Ice Block, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the Novice here still.
Wait, why would you like Novice more than...
Because there's so many 2-drops left in our deck, like double Doomsayer, another Novice, another Loot Hooder.
Isn't it that we have to draw as much as possible?
It's more likely.
I guess we can go Intellect and then we get a Cold Light.
It's more likely to find a 2 and a 3 and a 3.
Yeah. I like the Arcane.
Always punished.
Unbelievable. Oh, damn. So we go for all those next turn?
You can only do 2 of them.
Yeah, I mean the 2 Root Holders, because...
Or we can just let the pop happen and just play all the cycle next turn.
That's brutal.
Yeah, this is a really terrible spot for Tempos. Right now, they hit all the draw at the wrong time. I guess it could be worse. They could be just hitting... No, actually, no. If they have burn, then they're actually trying to assemble a 1-turn kill plan with the Evolved Cobalt. But the problem is that they're hitting the draw exactly at this point. Because if you can't really win through just drawing and getting the normal kill, then you have to just try to assemble a combo hand, and then you can potentially draw into Emperor. So this is definitely a tough spot here for Tempo. Now, G2, on the other hand, they don't exactly have the most proactive hand possible. Things like Refreshment Vendor is best saved until you really feel like you need to drop it. The best play right now is Defender Vargas, and then that's it. I don't know if they even want to tap anymore because I think they're on the plan of like trying to make sure to conserve health because they don't want to get one turn bursted.
Yeah.
I mean, that contributes to the burst. How much damage does Tempo Storm have right now?
Well, Evolve Kobold, Frostbolt, Ice Lance is
17.
17. And on turn 10, they'd be able to fit into ping with all that. So 18 damage total. So they still need to find quite a bit more, a considerable amount more. Because that fills up all of their mana, so they either need more burn plus Emperor Thorsan or more burn to use before they set up the other turn. But it's going to be really tough because they're almost out of freezes in the deck, which means that this board is going to do some work.
Kazakus is nice pickup. They can take a 5-mana spell and try to build up some armor.
All right, let's go and listen in to this Kazakus potion.
Really crap one. Draw 3 or freeze 3.
Yeah, then draw 3. What is the third option?
AoE.
Oh yeah, okay, never mind. So take the draw 3.
Resummon or plus health.
Resum or plus health, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you want plus health. What is the third one?
Yeah, AoE again.
Oh man, okay, yeah, sure.
Plus health, yeah?
Yeah, plus health. I mean, that makes our board resilient.
And then we play also Twilight Drake here, right? I mean, they have no freeze anymore, only a second Blizzard, and we have
Siphon also. Kills kind of our board.
Yeah, but it doesn't kill Drake. That's why I want Drake.
No, but then you cannot play healer, right? Or you cannot play healer next turn.
Okay. I think we have to play it here.
I would have Drake. I think you should.
I think we had to play it here.
Torch is not enough. I'm just saying.
Like find freeze and burn, right?
We have only 2 freezes left. One is cold. No, we only have 1 freeze.
We have Flame Strike too.
Rather draw Blizzard this turn or Flame Strike this turn, right?
Yeah, we could still Fireball Torch face.
I hope you like my invention.
Kind of like Fireball Torch better.
Why?
What do you want to find now with the...
We can do that next turn.
Well, next turn we can go Blood Mage for 4 extra damage with Fireball, Frostbolt, Ice Lance. Or we could just pair it with the Kobold for Frostbolt, Ice Lance, Kobold, Blood Mage.
You want to launch Fireball and Torch?
Okay. Yeah. It's the most damage over 2 turns. Just we cycle one less card. At this point, it's like...
What do you want to find with the Acolyte?
So let's see what the Kazakus is.
Also Peddler. So maybe we find something.
Yeah, we can trade the 3-1 in here if we want, and then we have Peddler, Fender, Bart.
Do we know Siphon Soul actually?
What about what's 2, 4, 6, 18? 2, 4, 6, 18. You want to Siphon Soul or what?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we could. I mean.
Yeah, I would have Refreshment Vendor Siphon Soul. No, don't Peddler. Or do
we can like trade it in anyway. Like we have to do it, but.
Why do you want to play the Peddler? I don't.
Because we can just trade.
So you always Vendor proc him.
Yeah, and then you can just proc him.
I see how we do it.
There's no reason to play the Peddler, right? Or is there any reason?
I mean, maybe there's like a healer or something.
Yeah, that's the reason.
What?
I will play it. I don't see the reason why we should not.
You have to Siphon Soul. What do you mean?
I can Siphon Soul my minion here.
Yeah, you can Siphon Soul.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Also proc him.
We Siphon Soul the 2 too.
Yeah.
This is good.
We have now a free board spade. Yeah, maybe we should play this. Why not?
Yeah, then you should have played it first.
Yeah.
8 plus 3.
You have time.
11 plus 6 is 17 plus 4. We only have 21. We want a Cold Light?
No.
They obviously don't have the Reno, and we don't kill anything, so we don't give them board space. They've used Farseer, Vendor. Their potion is not armor.
So Ice Block, Fireball, Face, Ping. Ice Block, Fireball, Face, Ping.
Yeah.
And then we have 21 next turn.
Wait, you liked it more than Thanos?
Yeah, we have 21. We have 21. We have 21.
They can't trade off into the Thanos, right?
Yes.
So Drax doesn't save them. They have no other healing but Reno. Yeah, we win, I think.
Yeah, of course, because of the damage.
Well, they need a
No 10
Hellfire in their hand and draw the Reno, right? So
we don't beat 10 armor potion.
we need to beat the Reno.
Yeah, they don't
on
have the
next round,
space.
that's all.
Yeah, we need them to not have the potion, right?
15. They get additional kill potential.
Mistress of Nature, but you cannot proc her.
There's only Reno, and it's only 1 in 13.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we don't want to die to, like, they played already double Fireball, so... It's, and they played a Torch. It's really hard for them.
You could Kazaku's potion. If you get Mistress of Mixtures, you can go like Hellfire.
Oh yeah, we have draw. We have draw.
If you get like Mistress, you can like Hellfire and then Soulfire the Mistress, and you get like 1 extra health. Oh, Dirty Rat too. Maybe you Soulfire or Blast Crystal something and Dirty. Soulfire something and Dirty Rat. Can you do that now?
No.
Because Dirty Rat would have been super good.
Why?
You could take the Kobold.
Possible, yeah.
You could have taken the Kobold and insta-win.
The what?
The Kobold.
Yeah.
Press F in the chat for Ice Lance right now. Pay your respects, Ice Lance. Good stuff, guys.
Remember
show the
the
cold
most
lights out of that.
beautiful games where Ice Lance was played, like the...
Oh no, the cops are coming for Ice Lance.
Shit, the Hall of Famers are coming for Ice
don't
Lance.
take the Ice Lance. No, Popos! No! Ice Lance, you're coming with me.
Go to bed.
Just saying, you're under arrest. You're headed to Hearthstone jail. We're Disguised Toast and Ben Brode are waiting there for you.
Yeah, well, Ben Bro's the jailer. And then, of course, Disguised Toast is still serving his sentence for all of his past crimes. That was a really funny ending. Of course, for people who aren't familiar, VLPS and the rest of Temple Storm are referencing the fact that in a couple short months, actually maybe even shorter than that, we'll see, depending on what time the next expansion releases, Ice Lance will be officially retired into Wild, away from Standard, as part of the Hall of Fame initiative that Hearthstone is going to enter. They're going to do that. Ice Lance, I believe Power Overwhelming is going there, and a few other cards. You can go ahead and check that on the Battle.net blog for all that. Of course, people are talking about, is that the death of Freeze Mage? We'll see. I mean, maybe they release more burst, but I can't really imagine that, considering that they were talking about dealing too much damage in one turn is not exactly what they enjoy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and 7 damage from a 1-mana spell is pretty good, if you ask me. It does need to meet a specific situation, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's like saying Holy Smite did too much damage because you had, like, Valen on the board.
You need a lot more than Valen.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole point is that you were, or Malygos or something like that.
Yeah.
You put Malygos and Holy Smite's like, it's 7 damage. It's like, well, you do require a lot of stuff.
Well, Ice Lance with Malygos in a freeze.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it required either Emperor or like a lot of spell damage boost.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly justified as the 1-mana thing, but I can definitely see where some of the players who feel frustrated by Freeze Mage feel. Although personally myself, I'm a little sad that Ice Lance is rotating out.
Yeah, there's a lot of players that have made a name for themselves by playing Freeze Mage or, innovating with Freeze Mage. So those players are definitely sad. But maybe they'll latch onto a new deck. Only time will tell. The players are still choosing decks. G2's got to find a way to defeat this Freeze Mage. And not too many decks to be able to do it with, to be honest, remaining in their lineup.
We'll see. Paladin has been eliminated. Mage has been eliminated. Warlock's been eliminated.
They have Priest, Shaman, and one last deck. Which
Druid?
Is Priest, Shaman, Druid?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think they might queue up Druid here because Druid has the ability to pressure the Freeze Mage pretty significantly.
Probably has Rag because Life Coach.
Most likely has something like Ragnaros. They have ways to gain armor in case Freeze Mage tries to go for the burst plan, and Druid has the board, and they just give up on that. The big problem is if Druid can't really deal too efficiently with Doomsayer early on, which can really stall the momentum of what the Druid tries to do. So they only have Mulch, or they need to have 6 mana for like Wrath swipes or double Wraths, and that's a little bit that's like too situational. You're trying to go for a more proactive hand.
Yeah.
So Druid can struggle a little bit sometimes, and Freeze Mage can steal a win. For Dragon Priest tends to do actually not too bad these days because of how much early game they have. The Cobalt Talon Priest makes sure that early game threats stay alive, and then Draconet Operative has the opportunity to reach into the deck and get additional burn. Because a lot of times you feel like I can just freeze the board and not worry, and then they have Fireball.
Yeah.
So Dragon Priest definitely got a lot better against Freeze Mage, but still not necessarily a great matchup.
You could also take Ice Block, which a lot of times
that works.
Freeze Mage can't pop Ice Block at a low enough health total to be able to just like ping off next turn. Sometimes it can be hard to pop at 1 since they deal damage in chunks.
Yeah.
Also, could just buy you that 1 extra turn that you need. We've seen so many times, last game included, where Freeze Mage kills their opponent a turn before they die themselves with Ice Block set up. So those types of things can definitely put a wrench in the plans of Freeze Mage. So it is a possibility, but it is tough. And if they lose one more game, there's a potential for Freeze Mage to just run away with the series. And maybe that wasn't a thought for G2. Templestorm did play Freeze Mage last week, so maybe it should have been a thought if it wasn't. But it's hard to tell what G2's strategy was this week since they came at the pick and ban phase with an incredibly different approach than we've seen from any team across Trinity Series, banning out Paladin.
Banning Paladin's definitely a bold move, Cotton. And I think if you look at what Paladin was trying to beat, Paladin's not really favored against too many decks in the current meta. Perhaps they wanted to go a very controlled lineup. Maybe they're even playing other things like Reno Priest, TJ. We'll see. Most likely not, but I'm sure G2 had their reasons. Looking at the total Mage wins, you can see Virtus Pro and Luminosity and Alliance. A couple of those teams did manage to sweep with the Tempo Mage. That allows them to get so many wins.
Virtus Pro kind of has the coolest progression of Mage because they started off playing Reno Mage at the beginning and had mild success with it. They took a couple wins in the first couple weeks. Then they switched over to Freeze Mage in the middle of the season and actually had a week where they took, I believe, 3 wins with Freeze Mage in a series. And then the final week they switched over to, or the final couple weeks they switched over to Tempo Mage.
Get a sweep.
And got a sweep. So their Mage progression has been one that was cool to watch and definitely was interesting to their success.
Shaman. Now,
Shaman,
mid-range Shaman, when it was going through its rampage, the puberty years, if you will, when Karazhan gave it a nice hormonal boost through Spirit Claws for 1 mana and Maelstrom Portal, on top of all the other tools that had already existed. Mid-range Shaman took over the meta around late last summer, if you guys can recall, 6 months ago. And there was another game mode that was introduced called the Heroic Tavern Brawl, which everyone said, wow, I guess we're just going to go play Shaman for 1,000 gold and lose, and people were making about all these jokes. And then people just kept saying, Q Freeze Mage, why not?
Yeah.
Freeze Mage is the counter to mid-range Shaman, right? Is that still the case, TJ, you think?
No, it's hard to tell. The mid-range Shamans nowadays are playing Bloodlust, at least the ones that we've seen in this format, because you want to beat up on control decks sometimes.
Right.
So sometimes you can just sneak wins, but I still think this deck at its core is very similar to what it was.
What about the Jinyu water speakers? Does that play a huge role, or do you think that's not enough?
Can help, but I mean, this deck from Templestorm, as we've seen, if given enough time, can just deal 30 damage.
Well, I mean, to be fair, G2 just needed Reno to shut out the game, and they couldn't find it. So
yeah, but that was given Templestorm had a very, very, very bad start. One of the worst starts I've seen from Freeze Mage in a long time.
Yeah.
So
double Frost Novas, double Ice Lance, double Ice Block.
They didn't draw like a single cycle card until like turn 6 or something along those lines. Where in this one, it's turn 3 and they already have 4 if you count Correlate Oracle in their hand. So
Mana-Tide Totem can be a really valuable card to help G2 be more competitive, but candidly speaking, you don't really care too much about mid-range Shaman does. You actually care about what you do more than anything. Although now they drew Torch, because before they didn't really have a way to answer the Mana-Tide, so before they just ignore it, draw cards. Now do they want to kill it? Let's go ahead and listen in and see what they're thinking.
This early in the game that it's... I mean, the thing is we run Oracles, right?
Because the issue is if they're playing Bloodlust, it's probably not good to let them freely cycle like this.
I like the idea of Torch, and then next time we go Doomsayer Ping. Otherwise, I would just Doomsayer this turn. I expect Jade's Spirit, There's some other 4-drop.
Also pretty good, right?
I don't hate intellect until like Nova Doomsayer next turn. Hope they don't have one of the 2 hexes.
Alright.
And if not, we still have another Doomsayer, another Blizzard, 2 Blizzards. We'll draw into more resets. We have 2 gold lights in hand. We have all our cycle essentially, so everything's in hand.
I mean, I'm not particularly happy about Nova Doom when the Nova could be worth so much more.
Like for Flame Tongue, and
I could also play it on the
On the
left
right,
of
on the right. You can play it on the right, yeah. Then you have Flame Tongue buff and so on.
Interesting deck from Temple Storm. They have the full burn package, but they also have double Cold Light Oracle. And we did see that they ran double Novice and double Loot Hoarder.
Yeah, I like cycle-heavy builds of the Freeze Mage, primarily because it's so inconsistent sometimes when you draw only burn and you can't really win. So if you put a lot of draw into it, all of a sudden it does become really consistent because you're able to hit Alexstrasza more often than not. And not many people really favor a lot of armor games, especially because Control Warrior's out of the meta, really, and people just play Pirate Warrior.
Yeah.
It does feel like you can get away a lot more with having greedier decks as long as you ban the aggressive ones.
Yeah, to me it feels like they're not playing Alexstrasza, which seems really interesting. They run double Blizzard and Flames.
They do. You can't build Freeze Mage without Alexstrasza.
We haven't seen it, and they've been through a lot of their deck.
I am willing to bet any kind of amount of money that they have Alexstrasza.
Okay.
There's 2 cards that really make Freeze Mage eternally a threat. One is Ice Block, and the other is Alexstrasza.
I don't know what they cut.
They can always put any kind of burn in the deck. Like Mage always has other burns.
Yeah.
If everything got nerfed to Oblivion, then maybe maybe the best Freeze Mage build includes like Dragon's Breath or something like that. But I'm just saying that the whole point is burn is always replaceable, but things like Alexstrasza and Ice Block are not.
Did just saying steal Life Coach's bugs?
What? Oh, the cup?
Yeah.
It looks like he's drinking a coffee filter.
That's awkward.
Very stylish from the mean streets of Indiana.
Well, we'll see if Just Saying's coffee grinds can help him think through this turn.
I like it. My hesitance was like them having like they don't really have any minions that are over 5 health though.
The thing is that the Nova is so good.
Yeah, the Nova doesn't do much. I'd rather save the Nova.
Yeah. It's better.
I agree.
So Jade Chieftain.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah, looks good.
Positioning far right, the far left.
Far left.
Right.
No, far left.
Warriors, come out to play.
I think it's Cold Light Nova.
Yeah, I agree.
Or it's AI Nova. What do you think?
AI Nova's better. AI Nova's better for now.
Yeah, we can
Again, I'd like to remind you that there's a Ragnaros on turn 8 as well, so that's the consideration for playing Cold Light.
But we give him higher odds to have the rack on it.
We also give him a higher chance of having the rag, yeah.
By like 10%.
So you guys like AI Nova?
Yeah.
Alright.
He still hasn't played the card he kept from the start. What could that be?
Probably Ragnaros.
You keep Rag just in the starting
Yes,
hand?
absolutely, against Freeze Mage.
Pass or just pass?
Or Totem Golem, is it ever?
If it's anything, it's Totem Golem. Yeah, you can probably do that. Yeah, I like that too.
One Golem?
I would like
the
the one, yeah.
What is if they don't freeze? I mean, I mean, they cannot. Yeah,
They might coin Alex or Face. Coin Alex or Face is what they will often do now.
Yeah, okay, Totem Golem is fine. Yeah, on the far right.
Yeah.
We kinda need that if they coin it, yeah, because we need to heal.
That's good, yeah.
You know, something that we haven't seen in a lot of these Freeze Mage builds regularly is Flame Strike. I think a lot of people have gotten a little lax around it. Something because a lot of people have cut that from the original lists. I know Laughing is always putting it in and out of lists depending on how the meta is. But then again, this is not the most usual list. You know, we don't always see Coldlight Oracles. Coldlight Oracles tends to go in more of the, I really need to kill you in one turn, like Malygos freeze mages. So, you know, Tempo Storm definitely has their own twist on things, which is kind of setting G2 really far back. That Flame Strike was devastating because now they have to start back over again.
Yeah, their trades are not that big, but one thing is that Tempo Storm does not really have much health to work with currently.
Well, Ice Barrier does keep them alive and effectively sets the board back. It's kind of like Frost Nova in the sense.
Well, actually, the block, if they just Ice Barrier here and think that's enough a defensive tool, their block will be popped next turn. It'd be exactly 18 damage.
Well, they don't know that.
They don't know that, but I mean, they could guess it. There's Bloodlust in the deck. There's if they have Flame Tongue Totem, double Flame Tongue Totem, Flame Tongue second Jade Lightning. There's a lot of combinations of things like a Spell Power Totem, Flame Tongue Lightning Bolt. There's a lot of combination of things that deal enough damage to get through.
Well, let's count how much damage they have right now. So they have 2 Ice Lances, a Frostbolt, and 2 effective Fireballs. So that is 29 damage over the course of 2 turns. I guess what they're looking for right now is a way to make that all fit into 1 turn. Wow. Oh, a second Ice Block.
Ice Block is a very big pickup.
So they could Ice Barrier and Torch a minion. And this ends up making their lethal draws even better as the game goes on right now. Because I think right now they're trying to either pick up Alexstrasza, stall for time until they pick up Alexstrasza, or Emperor. One or the two would be really effective. If they discount the entire hand, we're going to have to count how much damage that they're going to have. And then G2, in the meantime, they're just going to try to see if they can pop the block. But right now, I don't think they have a way to do it. Let's go ahead and listen in and see what they're planning.
So you still kill it with the weapon, right? I mean, we are 29, or is it already like in...
I would kill it with a weapon and go like Flame Tongue, Throg, Jade Claws. Or is it too much?
I don't think you can play too much now. But...
Flame Tongue, Trog, Jade Claws, or what? Yeah, okay.
I think always Flame Tongue here, and then see if it's Barrier. Like maybe, I don't know.
I face tank it, right?
Yeah, you can face tank it.
It is Barrier.
Yeah, I think it's Trog, Claws, Hero Power, right? Or
I don't think I Hero Power. I don't want a Hero Power.
Okay,
No,
sure.
don't Hero Power. Don't Hero Power. Don't Hero Power, that's fine. You just play,
No, you're,
Yeah.
5 is the max we want to go for, right? With what? Genji. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
But what else do you want to do? You want to go Cold Light for draw freeze? Or what?
Wait, what are the chances we just have them, right? With Cold Light?
Well, the thing is, like, we can Cold Light and we can still chalk 12 to face.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Or we can draw board
I think
freeze.
Cold Light's fine. And
Or we can draw Emperor for a TK. So yeah, Cold Light's definitely the play here. We just start chalking. We have 22 next turn.
Lutuda should probably get hexed by them. I expected if he would play it.
So we have 22 next turn, or we can Ice Block Ping.
Yeah, we just throw everything to the face.
So he has to have healing here. He's probably gonna have healing here. Gonna put him 1 off
But then we
lethal.
still have block plus...
Oh no, we have lethal. We have 21.
You beat one Jinyu.
And then there is not enough pressure. Like, it's so hard to say.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So we heal to 29, or like, no.
So I proc him and heal to 29, right?
Yeah.
Do you kill the 4-2 off here? Do you kill the 4-2 and the 2-2?
Yeah, wait.
I would like to go 4 and 4 to the face. Actually, no, I can put...
No. I want to have an extra space next turn.
What?
I can still do it. I can still do it. 6+2. It's okay.
Yeah, let's do it like this.
I also want extra board space here.
Yeah.
Now Braun here and Genie on the far right.
Yeah.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
And now we can win with Fire Elemental if they freeze our face and stuff.
We still win if they don't have the second Jinyu.
They have 10 cards left.
It's actually
But
kind of
do we
likely
have-
they don't have the second Jinyu.
But we don't really have another player, right?
Do we play the Luhooter as well?
They played 1 hex. They have 1 more hex. I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing we can do, right? We just hope they don't have
We
the
have the
second
mana,
GU.
right?
If they don't have it, we win.
6.
They didn't even totem.
Yeah, they didn't even totem.
What to do? What to do?
There's really nothing else we can do, right?
So do we play Loot Hoarder anyway?
I think we have the mana, right? Because we
I don't
just
think it does
forged-
anything to not play the Looter. Like, we still have enough
Because-
mana to pink base.
Yeah, we have the.
Although the pink
mana.
base doesn't matter anyway.
I mean, they can't kill anything into the Loot Hoarder anyway. So the only question is whether or not they have it.
Or Jinju, man.
Ja, it's hex the Loot Hoarder, ja.
Just pass, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Hey, press F in the chat for Icelands, boys and girls.
Let's go.
Have you ever seen Icelands pick up more slack? Like, oh my
Press
god.
F in the chat and pay respect for Icelands.
Look how cool this Golden Icelands looks like. Man, such a beautiful card. What is that? A female orc? Beautiful.
Iceland's a good card.
So now we have Warrior for Druid.
Look, I mean, Laughing predicted that Freeze Mage would just take over Trinity Series about 2 or 3 weeks into it. It's week 7. Took a while to get to it, but Freeze Mage is definitely doing some work right now.
Now, granted, Laughing a lot of times takes the approach of if you throw enough darts, eventually you'll hit the bullseye.
Come on. He's definitely not one of those guys.
In every tournament, he always says, Freeze Mage is going to take over this tournament.
No. He does not say that. If anything, Laughing is very realistic about Freeze Mage. He always says it's bad, but this is what I climb with.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a loyalist. We have so few dedicated loyalists these days. You know, people who says because you know what, there's so many options now, and no one says there's only one right class for me.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone always keeps their options open. But you know, there is one guy who sticks to Freeze Mage throughout the dark times and the good times, and that's Laughing.
He found his one true love.
I guess he's just only play Wild from this point on, right?
And now his one true love is getting ripped away from him.
I'm gonna go to bat for him here, man. I think he's not like that at all, TJ. I refute that statement.
I think Pixar is going to make a movie about Laughing and Freeze Mage.
I don't think they will. You want to take a bet? Just like I bet that Alex Strauss is in the deck.
I don't think Alex Strauss is in the deck.
I think it is.
I don't think.
I think 15 damage to the face is really good for 9 mana. It's not always, but setting them as a countdown from 15 is really good.
Mm-hmm. It's a possibility.
It's not a possibility. It's a certainty, TJ. You're triggering me right now. My wire's going crazy. The technology is physically reacting
I really
to your ludicrous statements.
I really appreciate how passionate you are about this, Dan. But I think you're wrong. We'll ask them later.
You're not even willing to put something on the line. You're just saying you think I'm wrong, just so you know that you can tilt me.
I'll bet this pen. I've become really attached to this pen over the course of 7 weeks of Trinity Series. It stayed on this desk every day, waiting for me to come back to it. This pen is my Ice Lance. Look, I can even...
The wire's rebelling! Come on, TJ, stop this.
I could even imitate the Ice Lance portrait.
So this is what happens. So TJ just knows that he's under my skin right now because yesterday we made a bet to race in Arena, okay? And because Arena Standard came out with the new patch, and we were playing it, and I was queuing up, and I had a pretty good rogue deck that I thought was like kind of hard to play but really nice. And I was like, hey TJ, let's see who can like get to 12 wins first. And he's like, well, we can't get 12 wins by tomorrow, so maybe because it was like 10 p.m. So like, well, how about whoever has the better score? Mm-hmm. And all throughout the run, me and him are just talking, but it's like TJ, all he does is like update the score once in a while, and I'm like walking through the games like, wow, like I can't believe I managed to draw this card or like have this combo. So TJ knows all of my deck. And I'm at 9-2, and I'm like, wow, this deck was supposed to go like 5-6 wins, whatever, and I'm really doing well. And TJ Q snipes me, and eliminates me from Arena while he already knows my entire deck, plays around every single card perfectly, and he even like sets it up. So like he's like saying, yeah, you never really play around Flame Strike now because the lower percentages and stuff and whatnot. He has Flame Strike in his deck, and this entire time he's just conning me. He's a scumbag. And he won the bet, and I instantly removed him from my friends list. I unfollowed him from Twitter, and I deleted his Skype.
He did.
Immediately. I don't need that in my life. If someone does that to you, they're not your real friend. They're not.
I executed him by accident.
DJ, I lost 2 things that day. I lost a good arena run, and I lost a buddy.
Well, there's 2 sides to every story, Dan.
What's that? What's that, TJ? How is it that the thing is? I even typed it. I'm like, wow, and, all caps, and I was like, you Q-sniped me, and TJ is like, oh, I didn't know, haha. And I said, okay, well, you already know like half. You already know like half or more of my deck, and he's just like, yeah. And he didn't share any information with me. He didn't tell me what kind of deck you were or anything like that.
You didn't ask, Dan. You didn't ask.
I was implied, like even at the playing field, would you? To make it to matters worse, I kind of messed up on the first game of the run, and I should have won that game. I messed up because of Coliseum Manager. I hero powered before attacking. Feels bad, man. And then I should be 10-1, and TJ and I would have never met. So in the end, I'm really mad at myself, TJ.
In the end, it was just me making an elaborate punish for Dan missing lethal in his first arena game. That's what it was. If anything,
I can't believe it.
If anything,
dude.
forget all the lessons Dan taught you, and I'll teach you a lesson, and that is don't miss lethal, or I'll come run. I'll come get you. That's
he's the lethal shark.
Yes.
Oh man.
Beware, all you laderites. I will find you.
I'm still mad, dude.
It doesn't show.
So you really don't think they play Alex Strauza?
I really don't. And that's where that all started. But I guess we can now start talking about G2 Esports versus Temple Storm. Game number 7.
Okay.
And maybe we'll see Alex Strauza this game. Maybe we'll see. Maybe it was in the bottom 5 of their deck. I don't know.
They might need it, considering that Druid has access to Feral Rage.
Yeah, and just armor across the whole game.
Right. G2 has a okay start. Picking up the Azure Drake was huge. Let's go ahead and start tuning into the teams and listening to their comms and seeing what they're thinking about.
We get some chip damage in
The one is pressure.
Pressure boys.
Yeah.
The sounds so good. Honestly, I don't mind the Novas. It's just... It's so bad, right? Whatever. Like, this is a not so fast Drake. I've seen faster Drakes than this. It's just innovative.
I almost always choose the Fireball the first Drake. Especially with this hand. We don't have quite enough burn. And
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, it's better.
Too much.
Like, if our second Frostbolt is our last... So bad.
Were they playing double Feral Rage or 1? I think they were playing 1, right?
I almost always put Druid on 1 Feral Rage double mulch in Trinity Series, so that's also the assumption for why they didn't queue it first, and they queued Jade Shaman instead. Like the same reason.
We kind of have Telnos, Beermod, Vref next turn though, if we Emperor here, I guess.
Yeah, but they can torch it. I don't know whether we want them to be. Whereas they would have torched it, right? They would have torched it, yeah.
I think they will have used Torch their 05, but it's
Yeah, so you can go Emperor. Yeah, I like it. It's okay.
You like Emperor? You both like Emperor more?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Behemoth might also have some reasoning.
Did you want to use Emperor, or what was? I thought you said something like this.
Well, I think it's because of maybe Beermod and Double Ref. Like, it's not that we need Emperor value for specific combos that badly.
No, I like it, yeah.
The earlier it comes, the better it probably is.
Yeah, they also need to address it.
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna kill. Nah, you gotta kill the Emperor, man.
No, we can't, dude. We can't use Frostbolts. We lose. We don't have enough damage.
Oh man, like, but we need so much time. Like, this game will go on. Okay, it will not go on forever. They will.
Basically, I plan on taking the next 2 hits of board damage and just.
Yeah, then chain 4 freezes. We have all the chain freezes. We just gotta get the cycle. We gotta save the damage phase.
What is the scariest thing they can do? Some auctioneer, right, and draw the entire deck. That's the scariest thing.
Yeah. In which case, you definitely want to save the Frostbolt, or else you don't have enough damage. So I think we made the right call. Yeah, we take.
Surprised they didn't nourish there.
I mean,
to get the Emperor reductions.
Yeah, but you want to get board pressure.
That's true.
Nourish plays into what Freeze Mage wants, which is time. And if you get this out, you get 5 more damage, and that really can really matter. Plus, you never know if you need to play Jade Behemoth and then to get better Jade Golem. So this is, in a way, like better ramp. No, not enough cycle here from Tempo Storm. This is starting to get really dicey. They don't have any draw. This is starting to look like a similar hand from the couple past games here.
Well, if we go by statistics, then terrible draws means that Tempo Storm's going to win. I mean, they have so much card draw in their deck. They have double Loot Hoarder, double Acolyte of Pain, double Cold Light Oracle, double Novice Engineer.
To avoid the situation.
Yeah, and they don't have Acolyte of Pain.
Wow, Ragnaros coming to the hand here.
Well, that is pretty much going to spell the game for G2 Esports, I think. Ragnaros is the card that Freeze Mage struggles with the absolute most.
Yeah.
That's going to put like a 4-turn clock on them maximum as this game progresses. So... And G2 already has Feral Rage. They have all of the cycle that they need with Nourish and Blood Mage and Wrath.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I do think if they're playing Ragnaros and they're hard mulliganing for it, and G2 has like double Feral Rage in the build, I think this is a tough matchup. Like, I don't think it's necessarily like supposed to be like, oh, well, it's free. Freeze Mage is going to wreck them. But let's go ahead and listen into the teams and seeing how they're plotting out what could be the last couple turns here.
Oh, this is Ragnaros. Do you think they will not show us more cards?
There's no there's no.
You did so last week. Why would you just concede? I think it's stupid. Last week, and if you can see one more card, why not?
I mean, not gonna show one card.
I'm right.
That's such bad draws with Freeze Mage.
Yeah, somehow we got 2 wins that we've drawn pretty bad with it though.
Yeah, insane that we got 2 wins.
4, 8. We proc him at 8 though. We Nourish first, or do we ever play Aya here?
Wait, you want to what? You want to...
Swipe Feral Rage.
And then invite Aya or what? Oh.
Nah, I want to Nourish, I think. We have
I would Nourish.
Yeah, I would also Nourish. Yeah, let's Nourish first and see what happens.
Maybe you get second swipe and then you don't need to like Feral Rage.
Swipe. Feral Rage. Yeah, that's the play, right? Probably get the 1 armor 2 of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this part is good enough, right? We never innovate here.
I mean, you could innovate the Jade Idol, but I'm not sure if it's needed.
No, they need freeze, and yeah, that's fine.
We have the mulch, pretty good draw. Now with mulch, we are really good. Like, even if they ice block now, they can just do a fireball in the face. Like, that's all they can do.
Concede.
We never killed them. We never killed them.
Concede. Go concede. Escape concede. What are you waiting for?
This 50-50 flip.
Might be the last time we ever play Ice Lance. We got to draw the last Ice Lance.
Yep.
And don't show this either. Obviously. Okay, this is nice.
Come on!
Yeah, we can do it, guys. We can do it.
Come on! I feel the root, guys. I feel the root.
That's good.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I mean, if you
Fury is with me.
yeah, I mean, if you can feel the druid, then then it's pretty clear. Then we have to own with it. Okay.
Become one with the Druid.
Well, Tice is definitely feeling it. Life Coach and Artie might need a little bit more convincing because G2 morale looked like it was pretty low for a little bit.
Yeah.
But they got the win on the board. And we've seen people go up to 5-2 leads and then their opponents just win 4 straight. So there's nothing that says that you're truly out of the game series until it's finally over.
Yeah, but the decks that Tempo Storm have remaining are pretty powerful. G2 only has Druid, which are going to be on next game, and Priest. And then looking over at the side of Tempo Storm, they have Warrior left, they have Shaman left, and they have Warlock left. So they have Shaman and Warrior to keep the Druid in check, then they have Warlock to keep the Priest in check. So I feel like Tempo Storm is heavily advantaged based off of matchups going into these last couple of games here, and they might be able to just finish the series out. just with a maybe one more loss if they win with Warrior and that gets countered by Priest. Then they play Warlock, but it's looking like Tempo Storm is poised to take this victory, which would knock G2 out of contention for playoffs. It would automatically put complexity into the playoffs, and it would give Tempo Storm a chance if Luminosity were to lose later on. So lots of things will be set in motion with a Tempo Storm win here. That a lot of people wouldn't have expected coming into this week, into the season.
A lot of people did previews of Trinity, and they predicted like which teams would probably be top 4. So I think Ghost Gamers did a preview. They said G2 was like a lock-in for the top 4. They actually said they put Virtus Pro at number 2. That was a pretty nice call there because Virtus Pro did make it in. And I think they put Tempo Storm at the bottom. I think they put Team Liquid at the bottom, too.
Oh, wow.
And these are 2 teams who are still very much in contention. So, you can't always be right with predictions. You always can some hit, some low. I think Alliance was 3rd on the list of power.
A lot of people expected them to be good. But take a look at total Druid wins for all of the teams here in the Trinity Series. G2, I mean, when Ty says he's feeling the Druid, oftentimes it's true because G2 has had a ton of success with Druid, usually picking up multiple wins per week, which is an impressive feat considering, they haven't had a sweep with Druid like they saw with Paladin. That's sort of shifting the weight of their class wins in one direction. Druid has just been an overall solid class for G2.
Yeah, and it looks like the only teams that really struggle with it are Cloud9 and Alliance, but at the same time, they were the ones who performed the worst in the league. And is it the problem of Druid? Maybe not. It's just maybe the series just didn't go their way at all. So only going 1 and 2 wins, it's largely due to the fact that they just didn't really win much in general.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll see what what Tempo Storm's going to decide to use next. I'm going to assume that it's going to be Warrior, just because of that matchup in general. Pirate Warrior tends to just beat up on Druid. G2 tends to build Druid a little bit more greedy, but we did see Mistress of Mixers in the build, so that could help. And it is going to be Warrior.
Pirate Warrior. Now, this is the first time that we've seen Pirate Warrior since like a week ago, I think.
Whew. It's been a while.
It's been a while. And this one has the Naga Corsair build. Now, the thing about it is that, how good do you think the Pirate Warrior is against Druid specific? Oh, well, Druid opens so awkwardly. Double mulch.
I think
they want.
I think it's great against Druid. It's so good because Druid takes so long to get going, and even if you have spot removal early on, the Pirate synergies, just being able to use weapons to clear stuff off the board, or even just slam face, just so hard for Druids to deal with.
Would it blow your mind to say that according to the live data, it's only a 55-45 edge? I mean, that's significant, but it's not like as blow it as you might think compared to some other decks that Druid might struggle with.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Maybe some Pirate Warrior players are not adjusting to the changes that much. They're not shifting their builds, still playing Small Tent Buccaneer. But yeah, it surprises me slightly, but not heavily.
All right, well, that is a pretty decent opening here, and a really awkward opening for G2. Double swipe, double mulch. Oh, man.
Symmetry.
If it was, if they picked up with a Wild Growth, maybe they could actually pick up the pace a little bit, but this is looking pretty bad for G2. They might have to mulch the South Sea Captain. It's hard to say. We'll see, though. Because this is a good spot for Tempo Storm. Now, granted, Tempo Storm doesn't have any more Pirate Synergy past the South Sea Captain, and that's usually how they dominate the board. But they do have some good follow-up damage to that. So let's go ahead and tune in and see how G2 is going to come back from this scenario, because they're in a tough spot.
I wouldn't mind mulching here. I don't think a 1-1 ramp does much here.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Yeah.
He mulch it, oh my god.
I don't mind it. Yeah.
Because they have to play another free drop now, and we can just swipe that.
You don't have a single dragon, right?
Yeah. So Finley Raider.
I like Finley Raider.
Yeah. That's not fairy dragon in the list, right?
I'm gonna go face with the 1-1, right?
Yeah, but what do we expect him for?
We're gonna work on next turn.
You can save it. You can save it. Yeah. We could do it next.
We expect Fenrir, right? Fenrir is the best thing that can have him.
Swipe?
Or we could play Fandral, but I'm not sure.
No, it's never Fender. What is with Jade? Idle Jade Blossom, we take too much damage, right?
I think we take too much.
Okay. No.
Warcron, swing.
And we can put them. We can definitely put them on not having a wrap with using the mulch on the.
Next turn we have War Axe, Corsair, Hero Power.
Yeah.
Then we end the game on 6.
Any dragons in the deck for Dragon Synergy?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of the thing. I'm like, wow, this actually just turned into a Dragon Warrior.
Yeah. I think they still need one more.
Yeah. Double swipe being used here, so Tempo Storm knows they can go a little bit wider onto the board. G2 still struggling a little bit. That Dread Corsair, pretty nasty roadblock. G2 needs to find Wrath. Wrath would be paramount to just stabilizing on the board, but now they're staring at just a dozen hit points left. G2 running out of air right now.
It's lethal next turn unless they pick up some way to block damage.
Wrath is
a way to block damage.
So Fandral Wrath helps them draw. They clear the Sir Finley. They keep Fandral onto the board.
They'd be Tempo Storm would be one off if that was the case.
7, 9. You're right. Just
so
hero power over the next turn, guaranteed.
Yeah, but they can pick up, you know, a two mana
Mistress of Mixtures.
Another. Still puts them a little off.
Yeah, but this allows them to
fit in another hero power.
In. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. This is tough.
I mean, I kind of like setting my opponent down in health. I don't think like the worst punish off of Fandral generally is like Nourish, and Nourish here would only leave them 4 crystals, and they have to specifically draw into Feral Rage, and even then you still have more damage.
Yeah.
You're like losing damage by trading into Fandral.
Yeah, I actually like getting rid of the Heroic Strike now. Because I feel like, no, that's tough.
No, they want to send them to 1 in case they have a taunt like Ancient of War.
Yeah.
So in case they play Ancient of War, then they just hero power through.
I think maximizing damage is important. Like doing the max possible damage this turn.
Right.
It's not about using one card or another. It's just about making sure that you have maximum damage. Nourish is a good pickup, but they need Feral Rage.
Well, what they can do is they can play Mistress of Mixtures and mulch it.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, in the worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario. They'd
no
still,
Feral Rage. No Feral Rage.
They'd still be dead, even if they played Mixtures and Mulch.
Well, they don't know that.
Yeah, they don't know that.
They should try it.
Yeah.
No.
Mulch the Mistress of Mixtures. Oh my goodness. The life of Druid against Pirate Warrior. But again, what amazes me is that the percentages on ladders actually indicating that it's relatively closer than we thought, 55-45.
Yeah.
It's not the worst odds ever.
So spend 2 cards and 4 mana. Give your opponent a mana minion to heal for 4. All right.
Looking more like Dragon Priest than anything else.
All right. Well, Tempo Storm takes game number 8 here, and they're on match point. And G2 is starting to feel their hopes of that playoff spot slip away. With a loss here, G2 would be out of contention, and Tempo Storm has a slight smile on his face.
Well,
he knows what he did.
Yeah, he knows. Okay, well, now, to be fair, G2, now, you know, people are already saying, like, oh, Pirate Warrior, passionate to do anything. But G2 didn't ban the Warrior. That's actually what's surprising. They banned the Paladin instead. Now, imagine if they were forced to play Paladin in that position. You know, the series could be completely different if it opens up. Maybe the Druid beats the Paladin, and now it's tied 4-4, and it's a much better position than what they are now. Because now it's on match and tournament point. If G2 loses here, they are out. But if they win, they're through to the finals.
And look at what they have to
Life Coach
beat.
has to talk about Hearthstone even more.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit bittersweet. But one thing for sure is that G2 it's very, very unlikely that they beat potentially Reno Warlock, Shaman, and Warrior with this Priest. It's possible, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah, well, Dragon Priest does tend to get onto the board fast. It's not exactly favored against Pirate Warrior. In fact, I think if you look at the data right in front of me here, the 2 best matchups that Pirate Warrior has are Miracle Rogue #1 and Dragon Priest #2. So the fact that Pirate Warrior is that favored against the Dragon Priest has to put G2 in a position where they're definitely worried about their tournament lives.
Yes, and it also Dragon Priest also has a bad matchup against Reno Warlock.
That too.
And Shaman is pretty even, I'd say. I don't know.
Let's see.
It depends what Shaman it is, because I feel
it's
like
actually favored slightly.
Slightly, yeah. It's very close.
So if they can survive the next 2 games, then maybe it's an opportunity.
Maybe.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
But it's going to be tough. This next matchup is set in stone here because Tempo Storm has to play the Warrior, and the only deck that G2 has left is the Priest.
Yep.
So we know what decks they're going to be playing. It's just a matter of how many games can G2 win before Tempo Storm just overpowers them. And Complexity is watching this match, probably,
with cheeks clenched.
Incredibly clenched, and waiting for Tempo Storm to win.
Yeah, certainly. Because if Tempo Storm wins, then Complexity is guaranteed to go through,
Yes.
which means that we have Virtus Pro, Complexity, and Team Liquid. And those are 3 teams that I don't think people necessarily expected. I think they were looking at, G2 number 1. I think they were looking at, teams like Alliance to make a splash because those Kaka and Orange have been killing it lately. And then they look at Cloud9. They got some of their favorite players, Firebat, Strife Crow, and it's like, whatever happened to those teams is like, well, no, it's a lot of upsets. And remember, G2 also started off 3-0 in the Trinity Series, and this would be their 4th consecutive loss.
It's been a rough couple weeks for them.
That opening hand, though, definitely looking like it's Priest favored based off that opening hand. Tempo Storm doesn't have anything to play until turn 3. They always could draw the right card off the top, but, what if they don't? Then all of a sudden G2 gets on board and Cabal Talon Priest bullies with a bunch of power word shields to back them up. I'm feeling the Priest right now.
Yeah, I think it all depends on this first draw from Tempo Storm. If they pick up a 1-drop Pirate, then this matchup looks completely different. If they pick up a Fiery War Axe, also, this matchup can look completely different.
Maybe. The Fiery War Axe could be, the game changer. We'll see. I mean, G2 could also just draw, say they mulligan one of those power shields. They choose not to. Oh, wow. 1 drop changes a lot, though. Yeah, so now you have to decide if you want to play power shield on that cleric. And getting that cleric out is important. Helps clean up the board a little bit. You don't want to take excessive damage for no reason. But then you can't play Cabal Talon Priest.
You just double power shield all day long. Not that that's a good thing, but
right. So,
investing a lot into a 1-attack minion means that as soon as your opponent plays a 2-attack minion,
precisely,
or a 2-health minion, then you can't answer it. But they're gonna go for it. And Fiery War Axe would be a big draw here. Upgrade, not so much.
Well, they can upgrade with the Arcanite Reaper. The upgrade forces a heal, which is, I don't know if that's what Tempo Storm necessarily wants. This is hard. This is really hard because if you upgrade, you can't kill off the cleric. Does that mean you go all face with it and then just hold on to the upgrade, or do you do damage to the face too? The thing about upgrade though is that it helps your Frothing Berserker get enhanced a little bit for the next turn, which is nice too.
Yeah, you can attack in right away to make sure that your Frothing Berserker can challenge whatever's on the board.
Or you could play Dread Corsair next turn too.
Yeah.
3/3.
Yeah.
Contain the board a little bit.
It gives you more options, I suppose. But let's go listen into G2 now and see what they're planning for this game.
That's what I'm saying, right? So now we basically dump.
But I mean, I don't mind having a powered shield in my hand. It's not the worst.
So I heal the cleric, right?
Yeah. Every time. It's really good. Then passing this turn is so important.
Yeah, that's pretty insane, yeah. Then passing here is pretty much probably game, yeah. This is pretty... Oh.
I wouldn't say it's game already.
No, I mean, not this is... Oh, that's not bad. You want to buff it and pass?
Buff and face, I think. And then we just Shadow Death it next turn.
Yeah.
Or maybe trade it, because they might trade Talon Priest into it.
What do you want to do? What trade? What's
No, next turn. Next turn.
Okay, sure.
You wish to live forever.
Ever. And Shield and Nether Spotted Storm was never, right?
You gotta play the Dread Corsair.
I agree. Trade and Corsair.
We have a really sick turn.
That was
Shield
what I
first?
was wondering, but what?
Power shield first? I mean, we have to def it, right?
Do we?
Yeah, unless we draw pain from shield.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, power shield first, yeah.
Nova is nice. So just def and pass?
Yeah.
We might want to attack to set up the Nova, and then we are able to attack with a cleric into another minion.
But
Yeah,
then they can also kill the cleric.
Yeah, but then they deal 6 damage into it. Is it that bad? I mean...
Yeah, I would just attack the pirate, it's fine.
Okay.
Like, he's not gonna make the attacks for us anymore. He's not gonna deal 6 damage in it.
This game has definitely gotten a little wonky. I didn't expect it to be this cleric single-handedly holding down the fort. She needs some backup soon.
Yeah.
The Twilight Guardian coming down next turn means that Arcanite Reaper plus upgrade gets through. And right now, Tempo Storm's probably debating about, what about Blackwing Corruptor or what, because turn 5 is obviously what they're contemplating at the moment.
Yeah, I kind of like playing the Pirates here just because getting the board out first gives you be more powerful. Blackwing Corruptor comes out, then it effectively heals your Dread Corsair.
Right.
So the Northshire Cleric can't trade into it. And you're still left with a reasonable amount of power on board, and then you can use the Arcanite Reaper to start protecting your minions.
It's worse against Holy Nova, too, I guess. They Holy Nova and then trade into the South Sea Captain, which is happens to be exactly in the hand, too.
Yeah.
This is a dodge by Tempo Storm. And they find the N'Zoth's first domain not going to be useful, but they have 12 damage to just the weapons, and they have Heroic Strike as well.
Shadow of Death was used, and these minions are a little bit out of range of the potential threat here for G2. They could bookworm the South Sea Captain. They could Shadow Pain the South Sea Captain.
What?
I don't know. Well, let's go ahead and listen into G2 and see how they want to deal with this.
Well...
I don't see anything great.
I see only Pain Guardian.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Okay, yeah.
I see only Pain Guardian, and we will take 8 in the face then.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
But
Is it
they
the only
are
thing?
I mean, what, Northshire double heal or
No. Nice, Pain Guardian.
cleric heal somehow, draw, but I don't see any draw.
Death or Corrupt? No, I cannot draw Corrupt. And I have to do it. Oh, man.
Twilight Guardian, right? So we
Oh,
upgrade,
that's good. Definitely.
take the trade, then face raid.
Yeah. It's by 8 and nothing Reno. No, they play 2 shit.
This now? Oh, that's good. Now you can.
Nova, one was right.
Now you can hold in Nova and reverse. Yeah.
Okay. For
Lol.
first Nova, yeah.
Nah, they can just talk from, but whatever. No, they cannot. It's not enough. It's good. Everything good.
They will have used Korkan here, I think. Why will they have not used it?
No, it's fine.
Cleric?
Yeah.
Oh, screw that. We don't kill the cleric ever. Let's think about this. Yeah, we kill it, right?
Yeah.
I guess we have to, yeah. Then play the first mate and then warnings.
Do you need to play the Warwicks? What if you draw Reaper?
If I draw Korokron or Leroy.
I mean, fine.
Okay. Wow.
So we have to Nether Spite first, right?
Wait.
Nether Spike and try to find a taunt? Or do you Bran Nether Spike and try to find a taunt? But if you find a taunt with that, we cannot play it.
But if we heal to 10, then we are kind of fine, right? I'm just thinking if Bran, Nether Spike, heal face, if that's good enough or if it's not good enough.
No, that should be good enough unless they have 2 cards. I would also like to play Bran Nether Spite and then heal face.
It's not likely we get Guardian, it's not likely.
It is pretty likely.
Okay, yeah, maybe Historian first is better here. Because we can anyway heal to 10, heal to 12.
Oh, wait. The Guardian is not likely, it's 10%, right? Or not?
No, it's bigger, because he's a dragon. Actually, he's a priest dragon, yeah. Oh, no, he's not, never mind.
He's not.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Should I just Bran?
Yeah,
just Bran. Well, yeah.
Operative.
Yeah, I play Cleric heal face, or play well. Yeah.
There you go, Leroy. End it.
All right, guys. Out 9. May the storms be with you. May the storms be with the cloud tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Stan, you got the interview.
All right, well, there you go. Tempo Storm takes it 6-3, and G2 starts off 3-0 in the league, but ends out 3-4. What do you think went wrong here for G2?
I don't know. It felt like they were the team that their communication was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Across the series. I feel like they never innovated. They were very predictable with their picks. Maybe that was their downfall, but you really got to hand it to Tempo Storm this week. They played well. They brought some new deck choices with the different kind of Freeze Mage, Flame Strike with double Cold Light Oracle, which did some work. Got 2 wins in this series. So really like the way Tempo Storm has adapted over the course of each individual week, bringing new picks, not afraid to innovate, and now they've set themselves up to make it to the playoffs. But you could hear VOPS, it's all up to Cloud9. If Luminosity loses and Cloud9 can take that series, then Tempo Storm's on their way to the playoffs. So now, though, we also have to talk about complexity. They have qualified for the playoffs. So we have 3 teams now, and the last spot will belong to either Tempo Storm or Luminosity, depending on who wins the last match.
Yeah, it's a battle for that last spot, 4th place. Who's going to get it between Luminosity and Tempo Storm? And I think the thing about Tempo Storm too is that they definitely got a leg up in the series because their Paladin was banned, which was very unusual. And I kind of want to ask what Tempo was thinking when they saw that, because and I wish that we can ask G2 too to figure out what their game plan was, because banning Paladin is the first time that we've seen something like that.
Well, you're in luck, Dan, because we're joined by Just Sayin from Tempo Storm for the interview. Hey, man, can you hear us?
Hey, I can hear you guys.
Hey, so first question, something that Dan was talking about, not sure if you heard him. Right off the bat in the series, you guys were throwing a curveball where G2 banned away your Paladin deck. Walk me through what was going through your team's minds and how you guys had to pivot when you saw that ban.
We panicked a little bit, and we thought that maybe they were trying to soft target the Warrior a little bit, and we saw a little bit of that later on because they ran Mistress in a lot of their decks. But we were thinking, do we really self-ban Warrior here? Like, Warrior felt so strong, considering that Shaman is no longer a main issue for it. So we're like, yeah, we're going to play the Warrior. We should be up a deck because the Paladin to us didn't mean a whole lot with our lineup with Freeze Mage anyway.
Yeah. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Freeze Mage, too. Where did this list sort of come from? It runs double Cold Light Oracles. It didn't look like it ran Acolytes of Pain. What was the strategy with this list, and where did it sort of come from?
So I think we brought Freeze Mage almost every single week in Trinity, and we kind of learned from our mistakes, and we could just kind of crafted this Freeze Mage build as we went along. Acolyte was really bad against Priest because they Shadow Paint it, against Shaman because they Hex it, against Druid because they Mulch it, and against Warlock because they Silence or Siphon Soul it. So it doesn't guarantee a draw later on in the game, and we wanted Cold Light Oracle because it's guaranteed 2 draws, right? Because our Freeze Mage is meant to punish the control decks from G2, so it just made a lot of sense having the immediate draw for us.
Do you play Alex Straza in your Freeze Mage list?
Do we play Alex? We do.
Okay, now do you ever cut out? TJ was like, we don't play. They're not playing Alex Straza. Are you serious? The 2 cards you never cut. The 2 cards you never cut are Ice Block and Alex Straza. Come on, man.
We wanted Alex for self-defense for the most part. just to put ourselves back to 15. Like it really came down to Alex and the opponent, I think. So yeah.
So you're saying that cutting Alex could be a reasonable decision in some metas.
Oh my goodness.
Right, saying
it's
right?
so important to the deck, both offensively and
Trinity
defensively.
League, there's a chance you could cut Alex Straza from your freeze mage.
Yeah. All right. Well, big story here is you guys have set yourselves up to go to the playoffs, but it relies on one thing happening, and that's Cloud9 taking the series over Luminosity. So, how do you guys feel about your chances? Any words that you'd like to give to Cloud9 if they're listening right now?
Well, VLPS said may the tempo be in the clouds tonight or something, but
close.
I have full faith. I have full faith that Strife Crow really strives in a control meta, and I'm sure Firebat and Tides of Time are really good in new metas as well. So I think they've got a good shot.
Yeah, as long as they're not bringing Reno Rogue, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, you got a couple wins, and maybe they should bring it.
Yeah. Just saying, a big congratulations to you guys. You guys really stepped it up at the end of the season, and we're one of the most fun teams to watch because you brought crazy decks. So if you guys make it to the playoffs, I'd love to see what you guys can do there. But again, it's all the waiting game for you. But I'll let you go now. Thanks for joining us for the interview, and hope you guys will be watching that next match closely.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right. How are you going to pay up, TJ?
Well, I just want to say they have to feel so nervous right now because they played so well over the past couple weeks. Tempo Storm did.
Yeah.
And now it's all up to a whole nother team to make it to get their spot to playoffs. I mean, I guess that's how it works out when you have a rough start to the season. They could have won in some of the earlier weeks, and you could say that they put themselves in that situation early on. But it definitely nervous. I wouldn't even watch. I would just look at the results at the end. I wouldn't even watch. But let's go and take a look at the standings now with that match. I'm avoiding the